Woo!
Hey.
Welcome to the Iron Seas. This week we will be discussing many things, but allow me to introduce my co-host, Battsauce. Battsauce! Justin from Evely Music, and our guest star this week, Phill Diaz! All right. So let's see our chat. Let's see who's hanging out today. Oh, we got Herman P. Hunter. We got Brian McCoppin. And the lovely Seabats, as always. Thank you guys for joining us. So, this week, the movie that won the movie poll was Sleepy Hollow. But before that, we get into that, Joe, how was your week, man?
Not bad. I've been busy, so I haven't really been able to do much social media stuff. But next week, November starts next week, right?
I think it does on Friday.
Well, I'm releasing my book, or the pre-order starts then, and I will. Let me get my link real quick. But yeah,
it's like everything else in your life. A little early. Anyway.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I do have if you want to sign up to my email list, I will only email you when it's important. But that way you can know when the book goes live and all that fun stuff. And I'll probably be giving discounts out if you're on the mailing list. So.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I'll just pay
except
for price.
You, Justin. That's how you signed up.
Damn. Anyway, yeah, Justin, how's your week, man?
It's been crazy, dude. It's been so busy. There's just a million things going on. But this Saturday, I believe that I will actually get a Saturday for the first time, and I don't even know how long. And I probably won't do anything, which is probably not the right call, because we're going to have a day off. That means it's a day to work on something.
No. Take your time. Relax, my son.
I still got to I have like the track list put together for an upcoming release of all the music I've done for other people, plus a few little surprises. I'm trying to also get that out in November. But I just got to find the time to sit down and do it. And I got 2 other projects going on at the moment. One is another collab with Chill Kid for a cool project, some mech stuff, Stompy Robots.
Speaking of Chill Kid,
metal.
Yeah. Gotta rep the shirt a little bit.
And the other's like a power metal-y type thing, sort of like what I did.
Oh, thank God. I love
what I did for First Strike, which the single actually off this will be on the upcoming release as well. So I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things I got to catch up on, but, chip away.
Not bad, man. Phil, how have you been, my man? Busy?
Yeah, super busy. But no, everything's been good. I've been working as well as the crowdfunding campaign we're doing right now. I'm lettering and writing a book for next year, which is a Western that I'm super excited about. It's like a fantasy.
Is it like fantasy Western kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like fantasy spaghetti Western. So I'm like a huge spaghetti Western fan of the brutality of that.
Real quick, best of the Dollars trilogy. Go.
Best of the Dollars trilogy?
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm going to have to go with Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
It's good, but it's so long. I like the second one.
It's long, but the thing that I think that pushes it above the other 2 is the music specifically in that one. Like,
music
Ecstasy of Gold is just like is top for me. But one of my favorite Western is actually another one by Sergio Leone, Once Upon a Time in the West.
Oh,
which is Charles Bronson. Which is, if you guys haven't seen that, it's long, but it's worth it. It's freaking amazing.
I've gotten hate for not liking that one.
I was going to say, is that the one you didn't like, Kahuna?
Yeah. It's my favorite. But yeah, so I'm working on that and a bunch of writing stuff. So
fantastic, man.
Keeps on chugging along. Yeah.
All right, sweet. Well, with that, what have I done this week? Working my butt off. That's it. Meeting with lots of... Anyway, very busy, but all good. I've been working on a lot of shorts, and I've started putting my videos on Instagram and TikTok. I will not use TikTok for entertainment, but I will absolutely post there, so we'll see how that goes.
It's good for promotion, yeah.
It's not bad, man. So, Justin, do you have that movie summary?
Oh, I sure do.
Do you have it already? Can you share it?
Real quick, because I forget every week. If you want to join our Discord, I'm putting the link in below. We have an open channel if you just want to talk to us or talk or whatever.
We've never
shit on my
advertised it
takes, fight me
before,
on
so
my
that's
takes or
good.
whatever.
There we go. I thought it was just if you want to talk to us or talk to each other, whatever. There's the link. I was like, that was the worst pitch ever.
I mean, if you,
come
I
in
guess
there,
you
we'll
guys want, I'll
actively ignore you.
probably yell at you and pretend like you're a terrible person. But
Look,
come on in.
I just shared like 10 different links. I got my mind on too many different things to like focus. You know.
Yeah, I know. And I was picking on you. All right.
He's,
So I do have
he, yeah, no. Joe can only focus on one thing at a time. Usually
10?
men. So
Yeah, 10.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
No,
even
I'm
know
with
his
you
name
on
was Joe.
Battsauce. It's whatever. Joe's fine.
Yeah.
I figured
Battsauce,
since everybody on the internet knows my full name, address, my credit card number, and my Target gift card number, I might as well share the name of every people here.
Yeah, it's on my book, so it's like
Target
All right,
gift card
yeah.
number.
What,
You'll
what do you
never
mean your
sleep.
book? I thought your wife wrote the book.
our book. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, are you drinking water out of a giant beer mug there, Justin?
It's
There
just
you go,
straight
boy.
vodka. It's Tuesday night, it's pure vodka.
You're not
Nine
me.
fingers
You
of
can't
it.
do that. You can't drink fruity dragon vodka at Royce's house. Anyway, Justin, you want to hit us with that summary, my
And
man?
boy, do I, let me tell you. All right, released in 1999. This movie actually takes place in 1799 when young police detective Ichabod Crane, played by Johnny Depp, is sent from New York City to a small town called Sleepy Hollow to investigate a series of murders. Approached by the town's council, Crane discovers that 3 of the murders were some of the most notable men in town. The council also says that the murders are the work of a deadly Hessian horseman, played by Christopher Walken, whose head has been mysteriously chopped off. Now, with the help from a young sidekick and the beautiful Katrina Van Tassel, played by Christina Ricci, Crane's investigation takes him further through the dark woods where more murders have been occurring. What is the truth behind these gruesome murders? The horseman comes, and tonight he comes for you. Starring Johnny Depp as Ichabod Crane. You got Wednesday Addams in there, Dumbledore, Harry Potter's Uncle Vernon's in this movie, Johnny Erico from Starship Troopers, the OG
Everybody
Alfred,
is in this movie.
and Saruman the White. $100 million budget.
Christopher Lee.
It made $200 million. No, his real name is Saruman. Made $200 million, so it did all right. And it's at a near perfect movie length of 1 hour 45 minutes, and it's one of my favorite go-to Halloween movies. Anytime it's Halloween,
Was
I always
it your
throw this on.
pick?
It was.
Okay.
You don't even try. You just say something and then everybody votes for it, and we're left there sitting. Why does the guy with the worst movie takes of all time always get the pick?
Well, okay. So one clarification. What was the topic this week? I know I was the one that posted it, but was it horror or scary?
It was just horror, basic
Scary.
like our
Okay.
like some of our favorite horror. I picked
Oh, I thought
The
it was
Exorcist. Someone else. Well, scary.
It's
Yeah, it was scary.
It's
But
like the most unscary movie.
Well, that's the thing. Whenever I pitched it, I originally picked The Ring, which is more of a traditional scary movie, and then I was like, does Sleepy Hollow count? And you're like, well,
I've never seen Sleepy
scary?
Hollow before, so
And I was like, there's parts of it that are.
Same.
oh wait,
supposed-
you'd also never seen it?
I never seen it either.
Oh man, it's classic. It's so. It's so.
It
good.
Phil, it is different, and it is Burton. So if you don't like
Yeah, it's
Burton,
Burton. Yeah.
No,
But it
I
is-
watched
but it's
it.
fun.
I watched it for this, but yeah, before
sick.
that, I had never seen it. I grew up on the old animation, like the Sleepy Hollow
Yes.
with Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
I never
love
even
the
saw
hell out
that
of
one.
Oh, dude, it's great. It's you could
Slaps.
find it at like a Best Buy paired with the Toad and the Frog or whatever, Mr. Toad.
Yes.
It's like a 2-in-1 DVD. But yeah, the Sleepy Hollow, it's got a banger of a song in it about the Headless Horseman. It's pretty awesome.
Pausing
Yeah,
real
I
quick.
remember
Who the hell is Cranberry Langers? Welcome to the chat. But who are you?
My boy.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh,
yeah, I
it's
figured
a-
this out. So
okay,
good,
cool.
Cranberry's a good chatter.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got
that's
the pick
fantastic, man.
with the correct scary movie, The Notebook.
No,
Scariest
Never-
movie of all time.
never seen that.
So the movie, like, obviously Tim Burton. Like, at 5 minutes, you're like, okay, it's Tim Burton.
Yep.
Wow, look at this very black and white color palette. Interesting. Oh, Johnny
Yeah.
Depp? No way. And it's a Tim Burton film?
Which I almost feel like it's in a genre of its own, because I'm like, it's kind of funny, it's kind of spooky, it's kind of this, it's kind of like that. And it kind
Kind
of
of
describes
mysterious. It's kind of spooky.
yeah, and it kind of describes every Tim Burton movie, right? I'm
bring-
not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just like it's like Tim Burton movies are on its own separate genre, right?
Because they do a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he kind of he doesn't try to create a story. Like he doesn't try to tell the story for what the story is. He tries to tell it the Tim Burton way. It's never like he never retracts his touch from a film. I think maybe the one where he did that the most was when he did Batman. That did feel just like a Batman film, but even in that film there was a lot of Burton in it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was an odd
Well, it's
one.
got Johnny Depp in it too, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like I was watching with my girlfriend, and like how young Johnny Depp looks in it.
Yeah.
Like
it
he's
is 99, man. It's
right,
20
and I think he plays that up pretty well too. Like when he's cowering the corner, when he's on the bed after he gets like knocked, he looks so boyish, you know, and like
Yeah.
such a. I think he played the character well, although he played it very campy as he does with probably all of his characters.
Mhm.
But he played it well
enough.
by just by seeing him and him not even commenting on the aspect of like he was underconfident. You know, you could tell that him as this detective in this town that he's foreign to, he was trying his best to do what he knows how to do procedurally, but he acted and showed that he was a underconfident detective, which I thought that was well played by him.
Or at least not a well-seasoned detective, perhaps. Yeah.
For sure.
You know, and like with a lot of films where Johnny Depp is in it and he does a really good job, I feel like he's the only in a lot of those kind of movies. I feel like he's the only one who should have played that character. I did not feel that in this movie. I think other people could have played this character
to
and
your
played
point,
it to a similar quality.
they originally wanted to go in a more action-y direction. Now, Burton's first choice was Johnny Depp, but other people
course.
considered highly for the role Brad Pitt, Liam Neeson, and Daniel Day-Lewis.
Holy,
And
The
that would
last
have been
two.
a very
they were going to
different
lean into like the
film.
action style, and Depp was like,
Yeah.
no, I'll take the role. I will do it, but I want to play it the way that I want to play it, where he acts kind of silly and boyish and, you know,
Yeah.
cowardly and this and that.
And with that being said, I think that acting that character out that way was the right way to do it.
I don't know. Because of like this movie just had so many different tones, and it just was like it couldn't really pick one, and it sometimes felt like the comedy displaced the horror elements or vice versa, and it I felt like the movie didn't
Undercut
know
the
what it
tension a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't feel like the movie really felt like it knew what it wanted to be.
It seemed to lose me a little bit at the end, but it does seem like every individual thing they tried to do, they did well. It just didn't all mesh as well as it should have.
I think that's by design, though. I think it's the kind of thing where it's scene to scene, you have whatever's going on. I don't think the goal was to do one big cohesive, and I would have enjoyed it way less if it was just pure camp, or if it was just pure horror, or just pure serious
Zayd
detective
Ninja, no, they
investigation.
needed the detective to have eyes facing forward, not in different directions. All right, continue.
Oh my god, how dare you, sir? What I loved about this is I really loved and respected the effects that they used. The practical effects, like in the first time where you see the tree, like that dead tree, and
That was cool.
The horseman coming out of that tree.
That
like,
was
Yeah, that was
I,
really
I-
cool.
that caught me off guard. I was not ready for
Yeah,
that. That was good.
that was super cool. But then again, like you know, Burton's dealing with a story that everybody is familiar with from the past, and he's changing it. Right? This is a Burton reinterpretation. Like going into it,
When was the original book written? Does anyone know? A long time. I can look it up, but continue. Sorry.
I think like this late 1700s. But what I was gonna say is like you're dealing with all these preconceived notions about it, and I didn't know that Depp was gonna be a detective until you know the first scene, and then still I'm like, oh, he'll probably go into the town and disguise himself as a teacher, because Ichabod Crane is a teacher in the original story, and they didn't go with that at all. And then even like halfway through the film, when Depp runs over that bridge and the horseman, you hear his footsteps and he jumps down behind him. My girlfriend's like, oh, isn't it like he can't, like the horseman can't cross the bridge or something like that? And those are preconceived notions that you can't really anticipate, or you can when you're adapting something and it kind of works against you when you're creating something new with a known story or property. So like as a viewer, I try to go into those things just taking the lead from the storyteller, the director, because a lot of those preconceived notions can get in your way of viewing something like this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So that was like my biggest problem going into it, because
weird. Battsauce has a problem, guys.
It's not a problem with the movie itself. It's a problem with me going into the movie, and it's on our horror pick, and I'm like, oh man, like a lot of people pick this. This must be like a really good horror representation.
Yeah.
And then it's like some like comedy bits thrown in there. I'm like, oh, okay.
It was scary movies, not
scary.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing
but wait. Most important question, Justin, was the movie fun?
Oh
God.
I agree. Yes, it was fun.
It was fun. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Phill. Just in case channel lore here. If most of the time when a movie is bad, Justin says it's fun.
It's not bad.
And but in my opinion, the fun does not justify the bad. In this case, I think the movie was good and fun.
And still be good.
It can be fun and good, Justin. They don't have to.
It can be fun and well made and well executed. That doesn't necessarily well executed.
All right, we don't need the fun debate again. All right, what were we gonna say, Phill?
Go fun yourself, Justin.
I will gladly. I'll think of you. Wait.
All right, Phill, continue.
I don't remember what I was gonna say, but I had fun, and I thought the movie was good. Oh, I do remember what I was gonna say. The thing that didn't make it a horror film is Christopher Walken. Whenever he was on screen, I couldn't not laugh. You know, it's like I can't take this guy serious.
The sharp teeth,
because it's Chris Walken with the sharp teeth.
And
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it seemed to me towards the last scene that he's in when he grabs the witch, it seemed like Christopher Walken had lines and they just muted him.
Yeah.
They took the line, like he said a few things.
Into the tree
his
now.
mouth moved,
Right.
and
I don't think they could have made him like. I don't think he can stop doing his voice. So I don't know.
My hands around him.
Can you imagine that scary visage of that
be
character
anywhere.
that he fully embodied physically? It's
Dude,
like you're coming to hell with me, and
Saruman should
I'm
have
the
been
headless horseman.
the headless horseman. That would have been good.
Christopher Walken had the look, man. I thought he pulled it off.
He's got just the teeth. He's like a weird version of Jaws or something, all filed to a point. I'm like, that's awesome. The eyes are so blue. He's just crazy.
Also, the sword, it's a BS fantasy sword, but I still liked it.
Dude, the sword's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Snake handle. Yeah.
And this movie too, I like movies. This did what I wanted to do in the sense that whenever you have a character that's supernatural, there's a lot of movies with whenever they have the logic, by the time they get later on with it, they actually have a scientific explanation for it. And in this one, no, it's actually this dude's just like a hell demon. I'm like, sweet, that's what I like. Like alien movies where it's not actually aliens, it's just guys kidnapped them or something. I hate that. I like whenever
it's like every
element
single
is
enemy. It's
allowed to be
like
supernatural.
they have a tragic backstory that explains. No, you don't always need that. Sometimes you just need evil. That's all.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need from your antagonist. I agree. Also, this movie is star-studded, dude.
Yeah,
this
dude.
movie is fit. Like every third news, like in the beginning, every new scene, they're like, "I know you. What is the Emperor Palpatine doing here? What is going on?"
I didn't realize it was Johnny Rico either until this watch through. I was going through like, who's in? I'm like, oh my gosh, that is him. I didn't recognize him with the hair. I was like, yes.
I didn't realize it until you
I'm
said
doing
it.
my
I was
part.
like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's one of those things
cool.
you get like an iconic character. Everybody fucking knows who Sleepy Hollow is, or the story is. And then the director and probably every actor ever was just like, can I be in that? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I thought everybody did a really good job, with the exception of maybe Christina Ricci. A little stilted performance at times, I thought.
She was a hot damsel. That's all I needed from her in this movie. This movie is based a lot on fairy tale, and I get that vibe a lot. And that's I use that to kind of justify and explain part of like kind of the story, the way the story played out, and some of the things that happened, and the vibe of it overall. It felt like it could have been something that Disney adapted, and they just never did.
I just felt like she wasn't quite on the level of some of the other cast members.
She was
that's
cute, and that's all she needed to be, Justin.
I thought it was a pretty good mystery in the fact where they had the red herrings everywhere, and But I did call who the person behind, the antagonist was.
Oh, me too.
But I saw their attempt at trying to sway the thoughts of the watchers from that. Obviously with the witch's ring and Christina Ricci and all that stuff. But yeah, it was enjoyable. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
I feel like all of us, except for maybe one of us who is wrong if he says this, is going to give this a float. So what do you got? What final thoughts and whether it floats or sinks? Justin.
Oh, all right. I'm quick on this one. I enjoyed the quick pace of it. I loved the sets. This region of the world, especially during this time period, I'm like, yes, please. Where they have the shots
was
of,
it a set or
river
was
and
it just
foliage.
a town that they used for the?
I'm not sure.
Because it
That's
looked.
a good
It didn't
question.
look like a set. It just looked like a place.
It may have been. I have it on Blu-ray and it doesn't have any bonus anything. It's just like, do you want scenes? Do you want to watch it in French? That's all we got. Get out of here. But the look of the interiors and stuff, just that time period, the decorations and the wallpaper and stuff, absolutely gorgeous. I just love the look of it. Even the window. There's a scene where Christina Ricci's looking out the window as Johnny Depp is leaving in the carriage, and the glass. Did you notice the glass has that bubble in it? Because that's how they poured glass back then. They just had those little bubbles, and I was like, "Yo, that's so cool. That's such a nice little touch." The color grading I liked. Generally, I like movies that are very colorful, but for something like this, it made sense that it was very desaturated, kind of muted in this kind of grayish tone until the very end. Once they get towards the end, then the color does come back a little bit once they've won the day. Good dialogue. I thought the characters were interesting. The backstory with the witch I thought was pretty cool and kind of dark. Man, where they open the Iron Maiden, she's just like, it's just the blood. I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
That was his mom. That was Ichabod's
Yeah.
mom. Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes. That was like, wow, this is
intense.
stand out.
And
They didn't
to
hold
me,
back.
some movies they lean way too hard in the gore, and it's just gross out. It's over the top, and I understand why they do it, but I'm not a fan of it. Gore, it's fine as long as it's not in my face, hey, and just And this one, it has those moments, but they're quick, so it's not too much. I like that. The music was great. I like that
Danny
throughout
Elfman.
the movie. Yeah,
Danny
Yes,
Elfman.
I'm
That's
really.
As soon as I saw the name, I'm like, no wonder this theme slaps so hard.
Yeah, that one with the sing, the light sing in the background. I still have that stuck in my head. The way that they have all the connections, the plot, you see the girl snapping the stick, and then how they tie that in at the end, and even the guy
That
on
was
the
great.
porch making out with the girl right off the get-go. They have all these clues dropped throughout, and they make sure you see them. And then that way, whenever they explain what exactly is going on, you're like, oh, okay. It's easy to
Yeah.
follow in that sense. Because some movies,
Oh,
Grace
we just
really loves-
forgot to show you the clues.
Yeah, she really likes Poirot, and sometimes in those, you can follow as closely as you can, and technically the clue's there, but it's just how would you even know to notice that was there unless you were actually him?
A good mystery will give you all the tools to solve it, or
Yes,
all the hints
and
that you need.
Make
to
sure
solve
that
it.
you pick it up along the way. Exactly. The sword, the action in it, the sword swing, especially whenever he doesn't want to fight Johnny
the
Rico.
actions, the set pieces, and the action, the way they all interacted, the way it's filmed, it's very kinetic. It's over the top, but it's very good.
Oh man,
I was really surprised. Oh yeah, quick funny story. I started watching. Apparently, someone else at the house had watched it and not finished it. So it starts off right as they're being chased over to the windmill. And because I didn't look, I just pressed play. I thought that was the very beginning of the movie. I'm like, oh, no explanation. Cool. We're in it. All right. I'm cool.
I was wondering, dang, this movie throws you in. I was like,
No, it doesn't, Chris.
It's a quick pace, but so that was really cool. There's some fun quotes in it. Obviously, anytime you have a fight inside of a windmill, that's enjoyable. Then the windmill blows up. It's that's cool.
Yeah, the exploding windmill.
The sword fighting, that was it.
That's
Whenever
what
he's
happens,
fighting
man.
Johnny Rico and he grabs the sickles, and Ichabod, who's kind of a coward, he jumps right in there, man. And it was like, oh, cool. He's kind of tough underneath whenever the cards are on the table. But the sword fight in there, he just takes the knife out and throws it leave me alone, dude. He keeps going back and forth. And then he swings the sword around. He's got to do his little sword thing, but he's getting agitated, which cracked me up. Just how
I like when
nonchalant he was.
they go in the church and they're like, oh no, he's going close to the window, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then he pulls him
through.
out and
Yeah,
gets his
yeah,
head
yeah.
just outside, and then it's just that stuff. It's so
I knew
over the
I
top.
knew
I
he's
love
gonna
it.
get got through a window the moment I saw him start circling the church. I'm like,
yeah.
oh no! Why is he grabbing the fence? Oh dear.
We talked about how awesome the tree is and just the set designs in general. The
Tree is so
carriage
cool.
chase scene. Anytime there's a chase scene on a carriage, I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
And then the CGI and all the special effects I think held up pretty well. The only one that was a little bit sus was the at the end where he gets his head back and it's like going, but then it does the Tim Burton face. It looked so Beetlejuice where he's like and it's all coming back.
No, when the witch
witch-
was having her vision, that looked. Like
I was about to
shit.
say that, like with the
That looked
snake tongue.
bad, dude.
Yeah.
the
Oh,
eyes,
that's
it
right.
was
Yeah,
just- I was
that one
like,
too.
That
I
needed
can
to be
forgive
cut
it because
out.
it's like one scene in the movie, but it was
Right.
it was pretty egregious.
I
Yeah, but they
had
could have
forgotten
taken
about
out that animation and just had her with the hollow eyes just pop out, and it would have been way better.
Way better. 100%. It was Tim Burton being like, ha ha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
that
that
whole.
little campiness he keeps throwing in. You know?
Yeah, to me, the only con of it is what Bats was talking about. It's Burton. So if Burton is not your vibe,
It's his own worst enemy.
if you can't get on board, like if somebody watched this and was like, I didn't like it, it was too all over the place. I'm like, that's fine, I get that. I don't, you know,
That's
I'm
how
fine
Burton
with it,
kind
but-
of is. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, this thing's a huge float. This is a pretty close to being a sky
It
ship
floats
for me.
tremendously. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
sink
up
like
there.
a buoy, as Battsauce says.
Yeah, I love
The fun factor's out of the world, man.
it is. It's a fun movement. Fun.
And you know,
It is
Justin,
fun.
I'll agree with you. It is fun, and it's actually a good film, which is not like every other fun film you've suggested. Phil, overall thoughts and whether it sinks or floats.
I would recommend this. I guess that's a float. I had a lot of fun with this. The mystery aspect was on point. The callback to the twins at the beginning, loved that. Full circled it at the end. The witches, all of the witches, and then also like this film has a weird ability to be very bloody, but
Yeah.
not turn your stomach. And I think maybe it's because none of the characters really react to it in a horrific way, you know? So it makes it safe for you to be like, oh, this is maybe a little cartoony, but there is some morbid scenes, bloody scenes, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my father tortured my mother to death with medieval torture devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty dark, dude.
That
And that
was
little
the
kid
thing.
underground
is
too.
that
When
I
his
was-
parents get taken out. I was like, whoa, that kid just saw that. Like that's rough.
I feel like that was
yeah,
like one of my
that's right.
main complaints that I'm just remembering now. Cause
Oh,
like,
of course it was.
yeah. Well, that scene with that little kid, I'm like, that was horrific, but like
Yeah,
it didn't
it's brutal.
feel horrific, and like he said, because none of the characters were reacting
Yeah.
like an appropriate way.
It was
And I'm
also the
kinda-
past. It needs to explain the present, but not pull you away from what's happening.
But
the
that
past.
also
I think
made
that's why.
me feel like it felt weird because I'm like,
Maybe.
dude, a kid
It's-
just got his head lopped off.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. He
But
gets decapitated. There's
Can-
almost no weight to it.
Yeah, exactly. Can we not? I don't like when jokes are made in like, you know, inappropriate places, and I felt like that was like a little inappropriate.
Maybe
I didn't
in
say it,
1799, life was just
Seabat
so
says
insane
it's
and
okay to
hard,
be
but
wrong sometimes, babe.
Yeah.
Life was so tough. You know, people are just dropping like flies from like basic things like, oh, well, Jeff got the cold, and then that's it. And like, well, we gotta have another kid.
He's
So that they're
he's
like,
hiding under the boards like a
Yeah.
poor Jew in Nazi
Oh,
Germany.
I thought
Very
that
nice
too. Like,
there and got
also,
taken out
by the
how did
horse,
he
and then-
know that kid was there? How would he have any idea? The kid did
He
not
heard
make
him.
any sound. There
He could hear
wasn't an
him.
indication.
He
He could
saw him.
smell
He could
heads.
smell him.
With his head, his head, Justin, the nostrils on
Yeah,
his
he used
face,
all of
on his head.
Those heads.
His cranial.
I mean, that's
senses.
not really a fair thing to say because he's also chasing people down without a head. So obviously he has some way of knowing where they
He's
are.
a,
But
he's a demon. They can do things. It's fine.
he's a demon. Like,
But,
very
he,
talented,
like,
but
he's
he's a
leaving, he's like, oh,
demon.
wait,
He
I
can
forgot.
do
He goes
things.
back. Yeah.
All right,
But my-
Battsauce.
Yeah, my overall thoughts. It's like, yeah, my major complaint is the fact that it's like tonally all over the place, and that goes with, you know, the reactions to the characters' reactions to some of the scenes and not having like appropriate reactions. But the fun, no, more than the fun. The other good points of this like just outweigh it. Like again, the cinematography minus like a few shots. Like we had pointed out before, it's really freaking cool. The tree is awesome. The mystery was solid, and yeah, no, I think overall, yeah, it's a pretty decent movie, pretty good, I'd say.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's me.
Sweet. All right, definite float for me. The star-studded cast, the acting on the whole was really good. Danny Elfman's score doesn't miss. It's really good. It did a lot to like create part of the atmosphere of the film outside of the black and white color palette that is Burton's only character trait. Let's see. I liked the action. I liked the kind of fairy tale feel of the story. It was a little like if my only complaint is it was a little tonally mismatched. Like some movies can ride the line between different genres a bit more effectively than this one. But on the whole, this thing is a float, and it floats hard.
Nice.
Floats real hard.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
There we go.
I did think the action with the bridge, it was pretty good, but it was also goofy. You know, like the guy's life is at risk, but it just goes more into the tonally kind of like all over the place whole ordeal. But
Well, he got kicked off of the carriage. He landed on the evil spirit's horse, but then that guy's being drugged behind the carriage. But then he's also being drugged behind the carriage.
yeah. I'm like, am I supposed to be scared of it or not?
I actually popped when Ichabod gets thrown off onto the demon horse backwards because it reminded me of the animation where there's a big chase scene in the old Sleepy Hollow animation where the Headless Horseman's chasing Ichabod and they switch horses and he gets turned around and he's riding the horse backwards. I'm like, oh, dude. But that was an homage to that.
I wonder, it probably was, actually, yeah. Also, something about the action of, like, the late 90s and early 2000s, like, kind of adventure-style films in some ways. I don't know, it just was kinetic, it was interesting, it was in your face, and it was cool.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, kind of fun, also. Like, not all, like, action these days takes itself way too seriously. It's not fun anymore.
For sure. This was something, too, thinking back, the book that Christina Ricci gave to Ichabod, and she's like, keep this by your heart. And my girlfriend are like, he's going to get shot and it's going to block the bullet. And we were waiting for it. We're like, yep. Of course.
It's such a big trope at this point.
Yeah, I love in the old cartoon, if you've never seen it, it's worth just looking up a picture of Ichabod Crane. Just the way he's drawn.
Yeah.
His neck is like this big around. He has no jaw at all. It's just like this tiny thing. This massive nose.
Very
giant
beta male.
ears.
Very beta.
Oh my god.
Probably votes left. You never know.
And then like gigantic hands. It's just such a strange looking character design, but it's I gotta rewatch this.
Do you
now,
think
man.
do you
Glad
think Joe
brought
would
this
think
up.
it's low T? Do you think it's low T?
There's
Very low T design.
Brom or Braun, the guy that is trying to court the chick in it. You know, he's the macho guy in the animation. Like he totally looks like Gaston. Like he's that.
Oh, yeah.
The character made me
got it
think
right
of
here.
Gaston in this movie. So that, yeah, it's a vibe for sure. It's like the small town. Actually, also, like if you look at Beauty and the Beast with a different lens.
Yeah, there is.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, I did see that
guy.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Gaston, yeah.
That got wiped from my memory. It's like a American gay Gaston. No, I'm kidding.
It's Disney, which means
But
it's
no,
gonna be
like in the
impossible.
original Beauty and the Beast, it's like, yeah, he's the local hero. He's not a man whore. He is a hunter. He's creative. He makes furniture. He hunts a local werewolf to save the woman he loves. He's the hero of that story, you know. But anyway,
Rip.
yeah. Sweet. So we talked about the movie Sleepy Hollow, an obvious floater if there ever was one. We've had a couple of weeks where where the float versus sink was contested pretty heavily. Usually Joe and I agreeing for some reason. That's if we agree that should mean something. But anyway, Phil, you want to tell us about your project? You have it on Indiegogo right now. Is that what it is?
Yes, it's on Indiegogo now. It's got like 7 days left on there, and might be putting it over on some other platforms after this. But it's perfect because it's a horror story. It's a mixture of my superhero IP, The Lost Pages, mixed with another buddy's IP, The Kill Journal, and it's heroes versus horror. And messing in like the dreamscapes. It's called Psycho Slumber, 60 pages, and it's like I kind of like pitch it like it's She-Hulk meets Freddy Krueger, because I got like this badass babe, and she has to fight this psycho slasher that is killing people in their nightmares. But
Yeah, we were checking it out before you hopped on backstage, and I was like, this looks very cool. I don't know how the knife guy could handle the Hulk fire mohawk guy, but I'm down for this, dude.
So this is kind of a perfect mashup because that purple guy, he's my Babe character's imaginary friend. So
okay.
They grew up together. And now like she forgot about him in her teenage years. And now
all women do, frankly.
They always forget. They leave the man behind. But tragedy struck and she started seeing him again. And now throughout that time, he was in her head, like fighting all of her inner demons. And he's this big, badass, hulking monster that always wants to get into a fight. And so they become basically like vigilantes around the city. And we did 3 volumes of that book. So that's the Lost Pages. And now this is like the big crossover going into more of a horror territory. And Krim, the imaginary friend, could directly interact with the slasher Simon, who only kills people in their sleep. So you get a cool dynamic there going on.
The Psycho's a house for imaginary friends, or
exactly.
Dude,
I got the preview.
I love the like. I don't know who the Hulk guy, like the Hulk, the big Mohawk guy is. I love that design though. It reminds me of some of the characters I've created in the past, and it's I love that design. It's great.
He's just like it seems like the readers connect with him the most. Like it's a standout fan favorite right now. So. Thought it would be a perfect time to put out another story with him.
Yeah.
Also, Seabats points out that he's like a stand, like from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, as I assume.
People have said that. Yeah, I actually had a comment. We have some of our books on Global Comics, and someone's like, "Oh, I love Crimstone. He's like the Hulk mixed with JoJo's."
Perfect.
Does he ever
too?
Pose properly?
No. Yeah. Got to put like at the end of the chapter a little like author's note or something like that, and put doing a stand pose.
Yeah, here I have actually. Let me see if I can find it. I did this pinup book a couple years ago called CG Vacation, and we did a picture of him where he's like on a beach pose. It's kind of
dude. There's a potential beach episode for this comic. You don't even know. No.
Here we go. Check this out.
Yeah.
Zoom in on his page if you can. There. I don't have power back.
Where's AC when we need him? There we go.
Flexing.
Nice.
Yeah. Those are some brave shorts, my man. I don't think I could. I've never worn shorts that short, but those are some brave shorts.
I didn't get too much because I got to read the preview. And, and so I was like, okay, so that makes sense. He's the imaginary friend. I'm like, okay, do they like swap bodies or something like that? It's kind of reminds me a little bit. I didn't get too much of the personality, but it's like, what's that character name from Jujutsu Kaisen? The clap guy. Tojo. Yeah.
Just the guy who's just a really tough like fighter kind of guy.
Yeah. Toto. Yeah. He's like the fan favorite of
the dog from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Toto.
Yeah, Krim's like super brazen. His personality is kind of like a mixture of Lobo and the Mask, and because he's imaginary, and when he's in the imaginary world, he could like do anything. Right? He could pull out giant machine guns or turn into a wrecking ball, which he does. If you scroll down, you'll see him.
So like Inception, except actually fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, just to be clear, are you one of the artists on the whole thing, or are you the story guy, the writer? Like how's that?
I'm the writer and letterer for all my books.
Okay, yeah. Lettering is cool. It like you can have great art, but if the lettering is bad, it just I've seen comics that were not good for it.
I find it like if you guys out there are writers working with artists to create comics, learning to letter really helps the process as well, because it's basically like the final stage before you go to like pre-press and print. So you could, on the fly, if a line of dialogue doesn't seem right, you don't have to contact anyone to change it. You could change it yourself. You understand the flow of a page better and how to direct the reader's eye across the page, and you can actually influence that with lettering as well.
Having proper like page flow is so much more important sometimes than even having good art. Like if you have adequately good art and then good page flow, that will be better in some ways than just having really good art and nonsense.
Well, yeah, you want everything to work together to control pacing and control your reader, and their experience through your pages. Because you don't want that left up to, their anything else, because you don't want to give them any leeway to not like your stuff, So the most control you have over it, the better.
Couple questions about that process with the inking, lettering, and just the design in general. Do you know what the size of a page is as the artists are working on it, like the dimensions or resolution? Did they work at resolution like 600, 300? And do you know how big the pages are?
It's different, depending on if you're working digitally or if they're working traditionally. Like I've had projects where I work with multiple artists. Like the first Lost Pages has like 4 different stories, each by a different artist. And sometimes they were sending in pages that were different dimensions or DPIs, which ultimately affects the letters you put on it.
Yeah.
Because if you're putting a 3-point font letter on a page that's a certain dimension or DPI, it's going to look bigger or smaller when it prints, with a different one. So it's all over the place. When I get my files in, 400 DPI is good. And I usually get them directly from the colorist too. So like if you're doing black and white and color. So if you have a standard colorist, they're going to basically send it to you at a high res DPI. But 11 by 17 traditional is what traditional Western comics, what the traditional artists draw at.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is a me thing because I am very retarded, but like so I've seen you on Twitter posting about the Lost Pages, and for whatever reason, when it comes to my mind, I'm like, oh, is it like a chapter that you didn't like post or whatever, or if it's like some pages you didn't they were left over from a
that's
chapter.
The title. Here,
so no, I got that now that I got the preview, but I don't know. That was like the first thing that came to mind when I heard Lost Chapter. So I don't know.
Lost Pages.
Yeah.
So it was my brother and I to do. Yeah.
How do you? Sorry, I'm so newbie at this. How do you add the shine? Like, what part of the printing process do you guys like to say? By the way, make it shiny in just this part only.
Where Spurs like that.
You could totally do that. You could do like they have like spot UV, which is it's not actually foil. It'll just that part of whatever you outline. You have to specifically send in the cover and some extra files and outline what you want to be shiny or covered in foil or whatever they want. So most big printers will do stuff like this. But yeah, this freaking came out awesome.
All right.
Yeah,
when my comic asks me about my Kahunas comes out, I'll know how to emboss them. How to add just the right amount of shine.
Bats, can you scroll down to or Kahuna's ever charge? Can you go down to the shirt? If you keep going down, eventually you can just see the shirt down. The shirt's awesome, dude. This design is so cool.
Wait, this?
Keep going.
Wait.
Also, did that guy just get bitch slapped up there? Is that what we saw?
Probably, yeah.
Supernaturally bitch slapped.
Yeah. Check that out. How cool is that?
That's actually a cool shirt. Yeah. Like
a lot of times projects, the shirts are just kind of like standard. Like they're fine.
Like, hey, look, it's the cover.
Like, that's all right. This is actually I saw. I was like, whoa, that's cool. That's a cool shirt design.
Yeah, we wanted to make it as like 80s slasher as possible. So thinking about back to like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those posters always make awesome shirts. You'll see it on Hot Topic or whatever. So we wanted something that stood out. That wasn't just something stripped from the book.
Yeah,
very cool.
That being said, I've had art done for upcoming projects of mine, and I'm like, I would really like that on a T-shirt.
I need to get this because this is just a picture taped to a shirt. But one day, we'll get a proper T-shirt.
I'm definitely going to back this. Just tossing that out there. will me not having read either of the things that this is crossing over, will that affect me enjoying this story at all, or no? Do you?
No, this is a self-contained 60-page one-shot full story.
I'm so glad it's 60 pages too. Like some of
Yeah.
these comics are like, hey, yeah, it's a great story, 24 pages. I'm like,
Oh,
it's
well,
not enough.
that's what we've been crowdfunding for 5 years now. I think this is my 7th campaign. So when
Hell
we
yeah, dude.
put stuff out, I'm an avid reader and fan of comics and backer of crowdfunders, and I want something to chew on. I want that full story. It kind of is a letdown if you get through 40 pages and then it's a cliffhanger and then you got to wait a year and a half or more for the next installment after being excited about
I love
something.
indie comics, but that is a very, very common problem.
For sure. But so yeah, this one I wanted to make it self-contained. So if you guys never read any of these stories before, you could jump on. It explains, that Jasmine and Krim, they're lifelong friends. Krim's their imaginary friend. It explains to you what these revenants are, these slashers that are undead. Something happened to them, and now their souls are chained to this domain, and they're going around killing people, and how this team of survivors is going around and getting rid of them. But also, if you haven't read any of the previous stuff, you could grab them on this campaign too. So all the previous stories, you could get caught up if you wanted to.
I'll have to decide if I can bite the bullet on the whole thing or just this one for now. But yeah, it's like, and if you are going to have a shorter comic, which is like, I understand this is indie, everything costs money and takes time, especially if you've never done it before, like someone like me in the future when I want to do this. But like D.P. Riley, for example, he did volume 1 of his comic, but it's based on his book. You can read the whole story already. It exists.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
And then he's just like, each book of his is going to be like 6 volumes of his manga style kind of comic. And so it's like, it's 30 pages or 32, 34 pages, but it's like, if you get that every like 6 or 7 months, that's way better than every like 12 to 14 months.
For sure.
Much more reasonable.
I'm going to go ahead and play the video.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Any copyright music problems or
no?
Sweet. In a world.
In the dead of night, on the outskirts of Chicago, the line between reality and imagination blurs. And in the moment before you doze off, Simon wakes up to play. He'll seep into your sleep and turn your wildest dreams into your final nightmare. From the worlds of the Kill Journal and the Lost Pages comes this year's most horrifying comic crossover, Psycho Slumber. When the undead is in your head, it will take more than heroes to put it back to rest. You'll need survivors. In Simon's world, the rules are his own, and the only way out is to play his game. This winter, Simon says, "You're next."
Not good.
Wait, right there. Oh, darn. That's a really good trailer, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And Dillard to voice it.
Yeah, we got Dillard to do the voiceover. Shout out to John.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
he
it.
did a great
Trailers.
he did a great job. I just took a guess as to the vibe of the voiceover that was coming. It was
Yeah.
not too far off. It's pretty good.
Trailers where they have, I don't know what it's called, whenever you take something that's totally flat and it has like the camera does that shift and almost gives it that little bit of three-dimensionality.
Like 3D dimension. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what that process is called, but I love the look of it. Anytime I see an intro, I'm like, that's nice. That makes it, I don't know, just adds something.
Yeah, makes it pop.
Real quick, he just popped in. Animation overload. Welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I like the the torment of the dream stuff, like, that comes from Freddy Krueger. Like, it's like that's the only usually, well, until now, it's like I don't think enough people have explored that type of like horror essentially.
Yeah. I always like that too. Like when you have to go into your headspace or into a dream space to confront something or find something. Like even it's a very different vibe, obviously, but like Elric in the city of the Pearl, or the Fortress of the Pearl, where they go into the Dreamland to find the girl and save her from the land of dreams. And I love stories like that. It's an underutilized thing, like Joe was saying.
Yeah. Oh, like the Wheel of Time series is an incredibly popular series,
that, yeah.
and my favorite part. I read the first book, and my favorite part is every time they can't go to sleep, because every time they go to sleep, they start getting tortured by the great evil lord. And I'm like,
it's real simple. Just don't sleep.
They're on the run from evil when they're awake, and then when they go to sleep, there's just no resting. It's just like this extra level of torment that's just very interesting.
I had a lot of fun playing with that. In how we kind of like got Crimstone, the imaginary character, to involved in with Simon the Slasher. You see him at the beginning of the story tracking down this guy that stole a bunch of pills from a pharmacy, and he's running through the crowd, but he stole these pills so he wouldn't fall asleep. Like they're a bunch of upper caffeine pills, and he's been awake for like 3 days because he's getting tormented by Simon, and they crack down on him, and he ends up passing out during the fight, and then he goes through this crazy nightmare. So that's how we got them all involved together in this story.
Yeah, get the little matchup. All right, well, I think Kahuna, where'd Kahuna go? He just left us. Oh, that's cool. He's probably went to go to the bathroom or something. What is the first topic? Yeah, well, guys, first of all, let me get the link back in the chat so everybody knows where to go.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
We could. I mean, the three topics we got adapting legends, effective horror, and what is scary. I feel like maybe we could jump into effective horror because we've already started sort of talking about that. We were talking about nightmares and confronting things. If you guys are game,
absolutely. Yeah. I think that's the way to go.
Yes.
Effective horror. I don't know. I'm not a big horror watcher. Probably the least out of anyone here. But especially because my wife just won't do anything scary at all. So it's just like I barely have time to watch movies on my own, and then it's like I don't know. So I don't know what to you guys would make is a really good element that you find in horror.
I'll let our guests go first if you got thoughts.
Well, I love eerie, kind of like indirect horror.
Yeah.
I think the implication of things can be much more effective than actually seeing things. And in comic book storytelling, that goes a long way. My buddy Aldous says you want the action to happen off panel and in between the gutter, and then the reaction is what the audience is seeing, right? And so you could take that as literal as you want, or for horror, it's very much so your mind is the scariest thing to yourself. So
leave enough to hint, but don't show them the whole kebab right away.
Right, yeah, you want the audience to wonder and fill in the gaps with the most horrific thing that person can think of.
Yeah.
Well, activate the elements, but don't give them. Don't just splat it. Don't slap their brain with all the whole damn picture.
Yeah, I mean that goes into a big thing of not a lot of horror films. They don't show the monster right off the bat because it's the mystery.
The good ones don't.
Yeah, the good ones don't, right? But I don't know, I was thinking about this the other day too, because I was like, I typically will walk my dog. It'll be dark out, and I'm like, I think nothing of it, right? But then I might have seen a bobcat. I don't know. I think I might have seen a bobcat.
Yeah.
Now I can't. I take the dog. We run out. Okay, go pee, and I run back in. So it's like movies. Other stories can bring a similar thing. Where you read something and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot. Danger is there.
Well, Battsauce, I'll tell you, even close to where I live, if you walk the streets of Seattle at night, you'd have a similar feeling as the one you just described? Just you, clean shaven, walking around at night. It's like something's after me. I don't know what it is.
Well, man, I get that feeling sometimes too. Like, do you surf at all, Phil?
Do I surf?
Yeah.
No, there's
Like,
not any good waves over in Chicago over here.
Oh, okay. I grew up
Weird
like,
question.
yeah, summers. Me and my buddies would surf and stuff. And some days when you're out in the water and it'd be like rainy out, we're like, we don't care out in the water every single day. So you're sitting on your board waiting for a set to come through. You're chilling and it's cloudy, and the way the water looks when we have that kind of overcast coverage, you're like, did I just see a fin? Did you guys see that? I'm like, what are you talking about? And like, dude, I definitely just saw a fin. You start freaking out. Like, is there a shark? There's nobody else in the water, so it's like, it's not going to accidentally eat that guy over there and freaks you out.
Right.
And did you ever see anything? You didn't. You didn't. But it gets in your head. And it's just that. Did I see something? Like, you
It's
guys
like those
remind
primal
me of that.
fears that
Yeah.
are can sometimes like act on. You're like, again, being scared of the dark is a very primal fear. So it's like you can work that and just like, I don't know, make somebody remember.
The fear of the dark is interesting because it's fear of the unknown, because you don't know what you can't see is suddenly malevolent and dark and dangerous in the mind's eye. But like Justin was pointing out, I think the difference between your story and like my stories is like in Hawaii, it probably is a shark. In fact, Christmas
The
Day
water's
years
clear,
ago,
though. You can see it. It's like, oh, there it is.
no, it was an overcast day. It was Christmas Day. My dad was out in Honokohau Valley. He was surfing out there with some of the locals. They tried to kick his ass one time too. That's a different story. But they're out there, and he's like, he saw a fin in the water. He's like, oh, maybe I should head in. 11 feet back, he saw the tail fin.
Oof.
So this is like a 13, 14-foot shark. It's nothing you play with. So he goes over. He tells the local guy. He's like, I think I saw a shark back there. Told him how big it was. He's like, hey, look, do me a favor, real quick. Look down. My dad looks down in the water. And then he sees it, his white ass feet underwater. He's like, he looks at the locals like, hey, brother, those are fishing lures. Get the hell away from me. If he caught that next wave, took it all the way in. It was the only way.
That's the move. Just little splashing, just get out of there. But I think that the environments play such a huge role in effective horror. Like the ocean can be a horrific place, but you can go the more traditional route and have like, I don't know, a torture asylum or something that's in disrepair, like a classical Silent Hill type environment, or a hospital where something bad went on. But just that, like something that is no longer in proper operating function, where it's got the rust stains and the creakies and the building squeaks, that sort of stuff. Just that environment can be
or the feeling of
something.
The feeling of any place that once had a lot of people in it and no longer does.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like
Those
those
are
liminal
weird
spaces,
feelings.
right?
Yeah, it's like
That's like a big new trend thing, just liminal spaces, which is like the in between, and there's nothing. It's just like a void.
Well, like there's a whole bunch of abandoned towns like from way back when, but there there are recent times like where a town had to be like a modern city had to be abandoned for one reason or another, and people go to those places, and it's really, really creepy. It's like time stopped in 2002 or 2003, and everybody just left this fully functioning like town, and it's very, very creepy to go back there now.
Yeah, and that's that unknown of not knowing the reason it's like that. And this could be applied to characters as well. Characters that you don't know their backstory could
Joker.
sometimes be exactly. Yeah,
I was
Joker,
thinking of the Joker too. The fact that he tells the same story and it's two different stories.
right.
It creates the question, which is more intriguing than if we just had the answer. That's why DC should never say the backstory of a character like that. Damn you, DC.
Right. Look at the Joker in, Heath Ledger's Joker compared to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which I haven't seen the second film, but
Don't.
I hear that it solidifies his backstory and actually gives him one, which could very well ruin a lot of people's, enjoyment of that character. Like they did the Three Jokers story, the Jeff Johns thing.
I remember that, yeah. It's kind of interesting, but I still was iffy on it.
Yeah, or even some people, I've heard people reviewing the new Terrifier film, and like the more backstory you give that character, it seems to bother some of the fans that were fans of the first film.
The character is supposed to be kind of unknowable. You can you can hint at backstory, but don't reveal it. That would ruin a character with that kind of weird behavior and mystique. Like, he's also somewhat supernatural if you've seen those films. So, like, leave him mysterious. He's better for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so, like, anyone else have this dream where you got something coming at you and you throw it your hardest punch or you hit it with a metal rod and just nothing happens?
No.
No?
Jokes.
Sometimes I
jokes
dream that
about
my
it.
teeth are falling out, or like.
Yeah, well,
I
it's
have-
like
What the
kind of
hell,
similar.
Justin?
You try to run, you're not moving, though?
No.
Am I the
Nope.
only one that has these dreams?
What is this?
I only remember
Just picturing
like
bats
I don't
whacking a
remember
clown
most
with a
of my
pole
dreams.
and nothing's happened.
Well, that's the other thing. If I watch a scary movie, like there's a chance that he pops up in my dream, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta fight him, and then I start hitting him with everything in the room, but nothing's affecting it. But anyways, it goes into a feeling of like helplessness, right?
Yeah.
And that's where like in Sleepy Hollow, again, like he gets hit by a bullet and then he flies off, right? And you're like, all right, we're not completely helpless, right? So again, it would have brought more horror element to it if it's just like, everything we're doing, nothing's happening. I know, I just done bad. I feel like this is not like an uncommon thing that happens to people.
What are you punching? What are you hitting with a
It's
light?
a
what is the
giant
monster?
cock. Just a
Like
giant
whatever
cock.
monster is like trying to attack me.
He's like, he wakes up having his PTS dream. His wife's like, "What is it?" He's like, "It's just like the Marines."
Yeah.
It's the demon wiener. It's back.
Oh man.
He was
The
watching
big
those.
green weenie.
He's watching those animus again.
Yeah. I think some other things too. Sound design. Obviously, if you're reading a book, you don't have that. But in movies, sound design can absolutely frame, the scares that are set up, even if nothing happens. I'm playing the Silent Hill 2 remake right now, and the original one. This one's, it's pretty accurate so far, like 90% accurate to the original. But that game, there's parts in it where there's like a long hallway and a blinking light, and the music starts swelling up, and it's just like, I think, what was the guy's name? Was it a Kiriyama Oka maybe? He's just like taking a rusty down, just like grinding it on something slowly. It's just like, I don't like that. And then there's like a chain dragging, and then like, did I hear a voice? And then nothing happens. You just go into like an empty room and the music cuts, and you're like, why'd the music cut? And then you find like a aluminum can that has, you open it up with a can opener, there's like a bulb in it. It's like, what the hell? That's it.
Games
And
are
you're
where
scared
that's
because
most
you're
effective.
expecting the
yeah.
jump scare and it never comes, but
Oh,
it's just
yeah,
like it
yeah.
sets you up with that atmosphere and the music.
Yeah.
You're just like, the music cuts, something's gonna jump out, it's gonna freak me out, and that doesn't happen. It's like, what the?
You're
And then you're
like
still on edge because you're like, it's still gonna happen, right? Now that I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, it's not gonna happen, that's when it's gonna happen, and then it doesn't. You're like,
100%.
what is this gonna happen? And you're always on edge. But it's that sound design.
He calls
so
up the game maker. What is it gonna happen, man?
What's happening?
Yeah,
Or like think
Chinese
of the Halo.
violin and
Think
the,
of the Halo flood levels without that creepy music
yeah.
it makes it so
Yeah.
creepy. And Halo 1 and Halo 2 especially.
Yeah, that's
Do you guys ever play the
scary
game
shit.
Fear? The
I
Fear
haven't,
games?
but I almost
No.
played it a bunch of times. Whenever it was out, I kept looking at me like, maybe, and I never did.
Almost.
It's freaky, dude. It's like there's a huge jump scare in the beginning of one of the two games. I can't remember what it is, but like you've been searching for this guy in this area the whole time. Your character's seeing this girl ghost half the time, so you don't even know what's real.
Nice.
And it's like you're at the end of the level. It's like, all right, well, we're gonna get out of here. We've searched the whole place. You turn around, you get hit by a fucking 2x4. Scared the shit out of me. Just out of nowhere.
That's a lot of horror, and a lot of times just storytelling in general with good kind of like what they would call screw the audience moments, or like the subversion moments, which there's a bunch of them in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Like when Tuco's taking a bath and the assassin the bounty hunter comes to kill him, and he blows him away with he had the gun in the water the whole time. It's like,
I love that.
that's subverting your audience's expectation, and that's the same thing with a jump scare, building tension. And throughout a story, you have the room to condition your audience, like you were saying, where you think it's going to happen, but maybe it doesn't happen, right? And that's the release of the pressure of conditioning your audience to think something is going to happen, and then subverting that is the payoff.
I'm okay with that. You know what I don't like? So this is a huge thing in modern horror films. They will do the to scare the audience with when nothing happens.
Mhm.
And then when the
It's like
real
a
scare
cat.
comes, it's no longer scary because the tension's been released.
Yeah.
Sure.
It is a wildly huge misstep that almost every modern horror film does. It's a wild waste of people's time.
Reminds me of, you ever see the old, it was one of the Treehouse of Horrors, and Bart, it's Sideshow Bob is coming to get Bart, and Homer keeps coming into the room, and he pops in and he has like the steak knife and the brownies and the hockey mask. He's like, I
Yeah.
brought you steak knife. And he freaking him out, but he keeps like popping back in and scaring the crap out of
Right,
Bart.
want to see my new chainsaw and hockey mask?
Yeah, yes. You know the scene. That's exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Anybody see The Cube? Anybody like The Cube?
The Cube.
GameCube.
Is that a
Game
game
Watch. It's
show?
Pretty nice.
No, right? Is it called The Cube? It's like when they all wake up and
No.
they're in like a cube room
it's called-
and they're like literally in a Tetris like death machine type of.
Is this like a gay porn thing?
No.
No, I
The
swear
tagline
this-
is fear,
Wait.
paranoia, suspicion,
Let me confirm the
desperation.
movie.
That dude looks like Pinhead.
I had
It's called
you-
Cube
I
97.
was confused, but I thought you were talking about the platform.
It's definitely called The Cube. So they're like they wake up in a room that's a cube and it like literally kind of looks like Tetris-y too. And like every room is going to murder them somehow and they have to kind of try to figure out how to maneuver through the rooms or how to even to get out. And like every so often it like the rooms start shifting. It's all this kind of crazy stuff.
So like
It's pretty
Maze
interesting.
Runner?
It's like what's that?
So like Catching Fire, Hunger Games.
Well, they way older than that, but I mean, like they have no idea what they're doing there. They don't know if it's like a government experiment or like aliens or something like that.
They're inside Ice
I,
Cubes.
I like the mystery of those kind of movies or books with that kind of premise. It's the reason I like the book Sphere by Michael Crichton. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that book. It's great.
You're just like thrown into it, right? And even the main characters don't know what they're doing there. So you
Well, more
learn
just the idea, like they have to, like the characters and the audience or the reader has to try to figure it out together.
Right.
What the hell is going on in this very strange situation?
Yeah, and you're just as lost as the people that you're watching as well. Yeah.
That's actually Craig did a book called 5 to 4. I read that a
Oh,
little
yeah,
while
I
ago.
remember that.
And
Oh, is
that
that
has
horror?
that kind of setup. That's 5 minutes before work ends, and then everybody like blacks out and they wake up, and time is stopped, and things don't seem as they are, so they're trying to
Yeah,
like get out of work.
The
to go
real
home, but-
horror, you can't leave your job.
I know, right? It's a pretty interesting premise that things go off the rails pretty quickly and stuff, but it's that setup where it's like, what is going on? And then people aren't acting like themselves, and just the mystery of it is fun. As long as the delivery at the end, I think like the reveal of what is happening, you got to stick that, because if you don't, then it's like it's fun until then you're like, man, it's just that.
Oh,
Real
right.
quick, I was trying to change my light. I have 2 of these. One of them is for under my desk, and I was using the wrong one. I was like, why is it not working?
I got 2 questions
Bisexual
for
lighting.
you all, because I go back and
Oh,
forth. on this.
shush.
A lot of horror movies, they will just lean into gross out gore or bodily fluids like excessive vomiting or that kind of stuff, or like sores. Do you consider that horror, or is gross out scares its own thing?
It's like gore
Stephen
porn.
King broke this down perfectly. Basically, he's like, there's different levels of horror. If you can't do
Like
the
that?
best one, yeah, that's when he wrote his best work. Anyway, no, he's like, there's 3 basic levels. There's the deeply psychological kind of thriller horror that stays with you. It makes you think. It makes you worry about what's around the corner. If that doesn't work, then just freaking someone out, like scaring them, freaking them out,
Shock, yeah.
surprising them. That's the way. And if you can't do that, just gross them out. Basically, it's a progression from like top tier to lower tier, and gross out is like bottom tier. That's
Yeah,
pretty
it feels
much
lazy to me. Like they don't know how to make it work. So like, just I don't know, have them like pull up the intestines slowly for like 5 minutes. I don't know, it'd be gross. Like,
Right.
and I'm watching. I'm like, I'm not scared of this. It's just like I don't want to see that. Like it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, I get it. Like, and it's not real. It's like a sausage or something. But just like, can we not? You know, is that
What?
necessary?
Did you got scared by a sausage?
Well, they're pulling
Oh,
out a
probably
very long
sausage,
sausage from a
yeah.
guy. He's like, oh, not my intestines. It's like that's a sausage, but it's still like it's covered in syrup. It looks kind of gross. I don't know. No, I want breakfast.
What was
Um,
it? Cell? I think that happened, right?
Oh, really? This was some alien movie.
Saw.
I can't remember the name. It was some like low budget Indian movie, or not Indian.
Yeah.
It is low budget Indian movie.
Then they all start breaking the song when they're fighting the aliens. Yeah.
I like one good scene in a horror movie that has that.
That has what?
To me,
Sausage?
Gross. Gross.
Yeah, like something that's like just
That was
gonna
well-used
freak you the
sausage.
fuck out. That's like gore. Like they put one in there.
There are a few. I'm not remember. Oh, first time I watched The Exorcist, my favorite horror film of all time. It is kind of gross again, especially like when you consider the kind of movies that were coming out at the time. It was at such a higher tier above everything else that at that time they probably did consider like the gross scenes in that movie to be absolute gross out kind of horror.
I still want to see a possession movie where instead of it being a little girl, it's like The Rock or like Brock Lesnar. That's way more scary to me.
Can you smell what the
Yeah,
demon's
a little
cooking?
girl. It's like, all right, if we got to fight, I can probably take a little girl, but if
Right.
it's like this giant
wait.
man, I'm like,
Wait. There was a movie that did that with
Oh,
The
really?
Rock. It was Doom.
wait, he got possessed in that?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah, but they
that?
had like sci-fi
trash.
weapons.
Remember that POS movie?
I watched it and the whole time I was just like, why?
But that's right. Like, if you're a demon, wouldn't you want to possess the 300-pound,
Yeah, it's way more effective.
2% body
Demigod
fat?
of a man.
This reminds me of a movie I need to watch again. A movie called it was Denzel Washington called Fallen, and that was it. It was like a demon that would pass from person to person through touch.
Well, I'll say I
remember if it
think
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
the reason they don't do that is because a kid is like the least
The Innocent.
you'd want to like the most innocent that you would not
Right.
want to kill because like you're like big strong guy like all right
Like,
he's
if
got
I-
to be like
if I'm
he's got
possessed
a
and,
lot of
I'm a
service.
danger to you, you won't
What if
hesitate to
it's
shoot
the
get a
hero
guy
of the
like
town?
me.
You know, what if it's the Gaston? Like, oh no, not Gaston. He's the hero of the town.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we need a backstory then. No, Gaston.
When I was a lad, I'd eat 4 dozen eggs. Turn it around to help me get large.
Another question
now I
I
have
have. So
demon
with
guess on
the
it.
gross out was one thing. I'm like, I don't know if I really consider that horror. I guess maybe bottom tier. All that.
Yeah.
All right, that works.
Sure.
Jump scares, like in the form of loud noises. Cranberry Langers is saying that doesn't scare him, her, because this person works around loud noises, so they're not scary. So to me, jump scares, I don't get scared. I get startled. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid of what's
Yeah.
happening. I'm just
Right, it's a
startled.
shock. Yeah,
like,
sure.
yeah.
It also
That to me
really
is not
if
fear,
it's not
it's
the
just startling.
actual thing that it's pretending to be, which is the whatever you're afraid of, it releases attention for no reason, and then you're no longer scared.
Like
It's-
if I
it's you-
step on a Lego, it's not scary. It's just startling, and that's how I feel about
Is
those.
that
They're making me
startling?
step on a Lego. Yeah, I'm like, oh, geez, there's a Lego down there. I didn't know there's a Lego on the floor, and then I stepped on it, or like I stepped on a slug barefoot one time, and I could feel it oozing between my toes. It didn't scare me, but I didn't know what it was, and it startled me for sure. Or in the ocean one time, I stepped on a fish barefoot. It was like and shot out, and you felt like that.
You
firm-
gotta
it was
watch
like a
where you're
piece of-
going, man.
I've stepped, Justin. I've stepped on a
stepping on
nail
goofy things, man.
with less of a reaction than you stepping
I
on a
walk
leg.
like this. So I do it.
It started to
entire
work.
list of things
I've put a
Justin
nail
skipped.
through the bottom of my foot, and I wasn't startled. I was just really upset.
I did step on a nail too.
It's not fun. I don't.
Yeah,
recommend
no,
it.
What
that's
else
not
have
a
you
time.
stepped on, huh?
Off the top of my head, those
I
are
don't like
those
the
are
way you
main
said
ones.
that, Joe.
Yeah. Well,
That goes the
actually,
implication.
can you whisper it to me, or what else
one time I drank way too much water out of a beer mug, and next thing you know. But yeah, jump scares. Are they scares, or is that cheating? Is it like gore? Is it just low, or is it not scary? I feel like I'm of the mind it's not scary. It's irritating. It's
I think it probably. I mean,
If
like
done
the,
properly, it's good. If not, most of the time, it's a waste of time.
Well, I think as history goes on, the culture gets desensitized by stuff. So, like the gross stuff that they did in The Exorcist was crazy back when they first did it because no one had ever done it before. But now you have it parodied and spoofed, and everybody's, you're sawing women in half from the crotch up and Terrifier, and then
Yeah, I
geez.
saw
we're
that.
all
That was,
desensitized.
Yeah, it's all
that,
relative.
that guy
to time.
poured his
Yeah.
entire budget into that, pretty much. Like
Yeah,
those
he made his
scenes.
money back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
I mean, horror's kind of always been a good moneymaker.
Actually,
Cheap-
more than
cheap to
that,
make and-
indie horror is like we don't
Yeah.
have the talent to make it psychologically terrifying, so we're gonna do gross out as much as we can, like naked chicks and lots of blood, and that's like indie horror in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Well, that's another one. Where do you guys stand on slashers? Like, do you enjoy them?
Slasher, I barely know her. Anyway,
I don't know, man.
I can't do them, man. Something about like these cute girls and they're like having a pillow fight and like and then the next scene they're getting stabbed. I'm like, I don't want those two
Well,
things
you're
next
not-
to each other. in a
what kind
movie.
of slasher film are you watching?
You're also the,
Oh, it's
you're also
called,
the person
like,
where you're like, if it makes me a little bit sad, I hate it.
Yeah, kind of do.
Like,
No,
if
Life's
the-
sad, man. I wanna be
This horror
entertained
movie,
and
man, it's kind of a
uplifted,
downer. Kind of a downer.
Yeah.
I like slasher icons. Like I love characters in anything. So like cool character design, a character that's cool to latch onto. That's what I like about slasher films is like the character of this killer. But yeah, I mean, like, do you guys ever see Sleepaway Camp?
I don't think so.
I know what you're
No?
talking
It
about.
sounds
my
familiar.
God.
When
I
did it
know.
come out?
I don't know, like 79 or
I remember seeing the cover.
Oh wow, a
80s.
long time ago.
83. This
Yeah.
is I haven't heard of it.
It's very indie, but I would say watch it. Watch Sleepaway Camp. It's
Dude,
crazy.
Twilight Zone is definitely like the scariest thing I probably have watched. Because some of those Twilight Zones are pretty dang scary.
Oh, interesting.
Serve Man.
Yeah, it's a cookbook. It's a cookbook.
Dude, yeah, I love Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone's definitely more my.
Is Black
Yo,
Mirror
something
good?
I'd
People
like
say
to
it's like
watch.
the modern Twilight Zone. I've never seen it though.
It's decent. It's got some episodes, but like, yeah, I didn't like how, I don't know, like a lot of them are repetitive. Sometimes the like technique or whatever the episodes like horror thing mirror whatever, it's like kind of the
premise
same
isn't
that they've
good
done
enough.
in like 3 other episodes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like just like a watered down version of some Outer Limits episode, which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty Twilight Zone.
Yep.
I got one more question.
Sure.
So, is there a movie you guys watched as a kid that you should not have seen and you just snuck it behind your parents' back or saw it at a friend's house or something that scared the crap out of you?
Oh, I have one. It's not one it was snuck behind my back, but the setup to why I watched it and how I watched it is why it was scary for me. So the Blair Witch Project,
Oh yeah.
good, well done film. Well, like one of the OG like found footage kind of films. I watched it, and my father told me, my brother, my best friend James, and maybe my buddy Zach, that it was actual found footage, like not a movie. It was like it was actual found, and we
It
were
is
just like,
actual
we
footage.
didn't have smartphones, so we were just like, oh wow,
Yeah.
really? Okay, let's watch it. Scared the shit out of me. I was terrified of that
I mean,
film.
I saw Scream too young, but like that didn't
Like
really.
last year.
What's that?
Never mind.
Oh, shut up. No, but like, you know what did me in though? Like, scared the crap out of me. I definitely saw Akira too young.
I
But
still haven't seen that. I need to
Still
see
haven't
that.
seen it.
what is it? Titanic. My mom, like,
Titanic
you know,
scared you?
dude, I was so young that when the boat capsized and all the people were dying, I was like in 2nd grade, and I'm like, I started screaming like, "Oh, they're dying!" And it's like the climax of the movie, and my mom's like, just and just trying to get me to calm down. I'm like freaking out.
I was afraid of the Balrog in Fellowship. I was born in '94, so when
Oh,
that movie was
man.
coming out, it was like I was like 7 maybe or
Yeah,
6.
right
When,
around there,
like when
yeah.
I saw the preview for it, I saw the Balrog scene. It scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With I actually saw Blair Witch whenever it first came out, but I was a little bit older then, probably my teens-ish. But they filmed it down the street from where we grew up, so we used to go through the
Oh,
woods
shit.
and try to find like where they filmed locations and stuff. But I do remember some friends being like, "No, we got to go at night, man." I was like, I know it's a movie,
You're
but
like,
that's still a little bit weird.
No,
Yeah, we'd
it's like
go
I'm
look for
busy.
Coffin Rock
We
and
didn't.
stuff.
We didn't say when, Justin. I am busy. I'm not going to be able to be there.
The movie that got me, I was with staying with my buddy and his parents for a weekend in Ocean City or something, And they're like, "You guys want to watch Event Horizon?" I think I was like 12. I was like, "Yeah, I can watch that. I'm tough. You know, I can definitely
That's a
watch
good
this
movie.
Dude,
I like
scared
that
the
movie.
crap out of me. It's terrifying. That scene where his eyes are going. He's like, "Where we're going, you don't need eyes to see." And I loved Jurassic Park as a kid, so I'm seeing Sam Neill. I'm like, "Oh, I love Jurassic Park." I'm like, "No, Sam, your eyes, Sam, no, dude."
Like Sam Neill did
I
Jurassic
didn't
Park and
sleep
then
at
was a
all.
villain in every movie after that for the rest of his career.
Yeah, that movie got me bad. And then it was funny because we rewatched it like a year ago. I was like, I haven't seen this movie in forever. I don't know. I might like bring it all back. I watched it. I'm like, this movie's not like, it's dark, but it's kind of cheesy now. The CGI doesn't hold up very good. So I'm
It's
watching
not
like, oh,
that
this is
bad.
not bad.
It's not that bad most of the time. Like there was some
Yeah.
really bad CGI at that time.
Oh man,
It's not
when
that
you're-
bad.
when you're a little kid, it was just like, yeah, like a sledge to the face. It just,
Seeing
man.
a mild, wide sea of frozen bodies just floating there.
That's terror.
Horrifying, man.
Did you guys ever see the trilogy of terror?
I don't think so. I've not even heard of that. I don't think.
So it's like an anthology movie. It's got 3 films in it, but this is the doll that's in one of them.
75. Ooh.
I
That's-
grew up with crap like this on my on the like beams of the house. I'm from Hawaii, dude. I just
You know what that
I
reminds
grew
me of,
up with
actually?
like a bunch of statues from all over Polynesia. This is just stuff we had on
Yeah,
our walls.
this reminds me of like if Jobu was scary looking for Major League.
Look at
You know what
this
I'm talking
thing.
about?
No.
He looks like he's about to hump his leg.
Yeah.
You got a little knife. This is probably the only thing I really remember me being freaked out by.
Yeah, those
if
teeth
he
He
depends
looks
like
like
he,
Hessian.
this little guy can't this little little Hawaiian dude.
Gotta
This little
steal
Hawaiian dude can be scary if depending on how he moves.
Yeah.
Like it's like
HGH
Chucky.
does it
Chucky
much
isn't
more.
scary until you see how he moves sometimes in his expression. That's the
Well-
only thing scary about something like that.
What came out first, this or Chucky?
Probably Chucky. It's pretty old. OG Chucky's
Does-
pretty old. I'll look it up.
Child's Play? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Child's
I never
Play.
the doll movies never scared me. Like the little like even what was the
dolls always
Slappy
creep me
from
out, man.
Goosebumps. They creep me out, but they don't like really creep me out because I'm like, you're a doll. Like if we're gonna throw down, I can probably take you because
I can
like a doll.
punt
Like, your
you
eyes
into
are-
next week. Okay, so Child's Play was 1988. When did your movie come out, Phil?
Trilogy of Terror.
1975 is Trilogy of Terror.
Yeah.
Oh wow, so like way
So
early.
I
Child's Play is
love
the
the run
copycat.
length on that movie though. Looks
Again,
perfect. Hour
the
12,
culture
beautiful.
appropriation of the black doll to a white doll.
Hey. He looks like a menehune. That's what he looks like. That's exactly what he
menehune.
looks
Yeah, I'm saying Child's
And then I
Play.
just
Like,
say
I would
something
never
bad
call
to
him
say.
that.
Man.
I
like.
respect
It's the menehune were supposedly the pre-Hawaiians
Oh,
that
they're
were
cute.
there when the Polynesians came. They were said to be super small, but like,
like a Hawaiian
super
hobbit.
jacked and strong. Yeah, pretty
Hawaiian
much. But like,
outfit. It's the
like-
proto Hawaiian.
it is, man. It's
Little
like
smiley fellows, no clothes, just letting it hang out, having a good time.
yeah, that like they are these little tiny jacked dudes. They carry rocks like bigger than their body overhead, and like yeah, like that was one of the things they would say, like warn us kids about, like don't go out at night. The menehune will get you.
Oh,
You-
yeah.
You know what did scare me though? Speaking of Goosebumps, you mentioned Goosebumps. The Mask.
Oh yeah.
I had the VHS of this.
Oh, I've never seen
And
this
it was-
one. I own most of them. I've never seen this one.
Dude, it's
I
It's
loved
crazy.
the Goosebumps books growing up. Honestly, they were just the right amount of everything. I loved them.
I was watching. There's one called "Say Cheese and Die." I was watching it the other day.
Such a great title.
Yeah, you take the camera's like from space. Where you take a picture of something bad will happen to it, but the lead in it is a young Ryan Gosling, which I was like, no way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It's like the,
entertaining, man.
Oh,
For being
he's
a
been
kid
he's
stuff.
been acting. He's been a poor actor for a much longer than I
oh
thought.
my god.
But it worked in this. Yeah, those movies though. That one I watched, it's a kid's story, but there's like a new kid in town and he wants to make friends, and they're like, hey, this new kid, let's make him go stay in the haunted place for an hour.
Right.
And he goes in, they're like, no way he can make an hour. Nobody, you didn't even make it 15 minutes, Doug. And he's like, oh, well, I definitely could. So he goes in there and the ghosts show up and they're like talking to him. And then it goes back to the kids outside and they're like, it's been an hour. This kid is like the toughest kid ever. And he's like, he's not that tough.
This
And they
kid's
go inside.
crazy.
And then the ghosts are like, hey, how's it going? They're like, oh my gosh, the ghosts are real. And they're like, where's our friend? They're like, we will let him go because he said that if we let him go, there'd be 3 kids coming that we could keep forever. I was like, damn. Whoa. It's like a kids movie or whatever. I was like, that's intense. And they're all like that. Like they have some kind of twist where something terrible happens. I'm like, they do not make kids horror like that anymore.
Like what's that one Goosebumps story? Like they find out that this local store owner like eats small animals and small children and is like super creepy. But then the twist at the end of this one was that, oh, we're a different type of monster that eats this kind of monster. So they just the kids end up eating him. I'm like, whoa, I love Goosebumps, dude.
Kids eat them. Yeah.
Brutal.
It's like, or actually, no, the mom and dad eat them because the kids were like, they didn't have their teeth hadn't grown in yet. And like, well, kids, this is how it goes. And like, they eat the store owner.
Sorry, I'm looking for. Can't remember it. It's like where these kids told scary stories around the fire. Are you afraid of the dark?
Are you afraid of the dark? Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's awesome.
That was
Wait,
like,
is that different from scary stories to tell in the dark, or is that a different?
Yeah, Scary Stories is a book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are You Afraid of the Dark is the kids' TV show.
that had some like seriously messed up
man.
stuff for kids television.
Heck yeah. Did you know at the beginning, like, I submit for approval of the Midnight Society, and they throw the stuff in the fire, goes, and then they say whatever the title is?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that. It's just non-dairy creamer. So next
like
time
it.
you're at a campfire and you want to cause a
Next
hazard,
time you're at camp, guys.
or if you want to
Well,
build a
take out
fire
my
in your
handy pack
backyard
of
tomorrow,
non-dairy creamer.
yeah,
Carry
a little,
with me everywhere, guys.
a little magnesium. I
Yeah,
could be
you
a
gotta go like
I could be a
this.
wizard.
Yeah, that should above anything should tell you never to consume non-dairy creamer.
yeah.
The
But I'm
doll
like-
maker. Yeah, there was a person that just kept making everyone into dolls. It was scary
Oh.
stuff, man.
It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah,
I had all the Japanese and Hawaiian like legend, like ghost stories to read.
oh,
too.
Japan. Oof.
Well, Japan
That's
and
cool.
Hawaiian, they share a lot of certain cultural things, but
I get that.
yeah, like one that they have in
yes.
common was that
So
dude, I forgot
Nickelodeon!
about that.
That one was a good one, dude.
I just watched that this year. I'm pretty sure. This
Oh,
episode.
nice. Does it hold up?
Yeah, it was weird. The clown was cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great, dude. That's great.
The Japanese ones and the Korean ones, I can't remember. Juwan, the Grudge that they brought to America.
Juan?
Damn it, Juan.
Okay, it is Japanese. Yeah, the Juan. Yeah, terrifying.
What are you,
That
Juno?
movie-
No, Juno. Just the horror film Juno.
Yeah, it's kind of it is in a way.
That
We'll
is
get
a
to
horror
that
film.
after.
Imagine first time you have it's her.
Imagine having Elliot Page be the mother of your child.
They should remake it.
And they should be making.
Oh,
Elliot
right,
Page
so much.
go to school with their own kid, just trying to bully all the women.
It's like her kid later is like, well, so at school they say I can be anything I want to be. Is that true, Mom? And Elliot's like, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Jesus
And
Christ.
Juwan, the Japanese horror is a little bit different than American horror because I think most American horror, especially modern stuff, relies on quick cuts and all that. And the Juwan series, they're kind of boring at times, but they have a couple scenes where the horror is just so different. There's one scene in particular that stuck out to me. It was either Juwan 1 or Juwan 2. My buddy had he had the internet. before.
Sorry,
Juwan
it
is
sounds
not,
like
cannot possibly be the way
Juwan
they say it.
he had access.
What, is this
to
a
the internet.
movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it
there's
is.
Four.
I
They
know
turned
what
it
he's
into
talking
in
about.
America. It became The Grudge, but the Japanese
Oh,
version is
just say The
JU-O.
Grudge.
Have you guys seen The Grudge or
Well,
Juwan?
it's not The Grudge,
as
though,
they
it's the
say?
Japanese version. Because The Grudge, like a lot of these movies that got translated into America, they lost everything that made them special. With the exception of The Ring. I still like The Ring quite a bit. But
The American
with-
version or the
Yes.
Japanese version?
I've never seen the Japanese one, but I really like the American one quite a bit.
Michelle Gellar.
I heard it's still better in Japan.
That was the-
the
I've never seen
Japanese one is still better, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen
But
it.
there's a scene in Juwan where they have one wide shot. The camera's just in the back, and there's just a girl like combing her hair, and she's just high school or something. She's just combing her hair and in the mirror, and the scene's like it feels like it's 10 minutes long. And over on
Probably
the
like
far
4
side of the
seconds,
room,
dude.
you slowly see like the monster girl coming out of the ground, like slowly rising, slowly, and you're like, turn around, turn around. Turn
Yeah,
around,
the wide
turn
shot,
around.
the
For like
it
5 minutes, and
lingers.
she's slowly making her way over, and the girl just combing her hair has no idea. And then, of course, it gets to her, and that's when she turns and it cuts and like goes to another character and a different story and all that. But I was like, the tension in that was nuts. And it was just this wide angle.
Yeah.
But that stuck out.
I love in horror films like where it's showing a shot, and if you look closely, you can see part of something, but you can't see all of it. But it's not in the focus of the frame, so you could like something's there, but we're just not really looking at it. I love when a film does that effectively.
Hereditary did that really well.
Yeah,
could've watched
Hereditary did a great
Hereditary.
job with that.
I've never seen it.
It sounded brutal.
I've just heard
a friend of
good
mine
things
said
about it.
Midsummer is better. I've never seen Midsummer.
That also sounds brutal.
Yeah, they're both brutal.
I thought,
but it's like I totally forgot that I've seen those. But like those are horror movies that everybody loves. But it's like I'm not scared watching them. But I'm like, oh, that's cool that they were able to accomplish that. And yet, like the mom is like possessed and she's up in the corner, and you only see her in your peripheral vision.
That's a great shot.
Pretty dope. But yeah, freaking Midsummer was insane.
Kind of wish I picked The Cube now because I forgot. I like
The Cube had 0% chance of winning.
I know, right? It's got a cult following. You don't know, man.
Like AC, Andy, Joe, and I will all pick movies that we're like we'll really think about it. It's like it's a good combination of what I like and what I hope will win. And Justin will be like, what about that movie? And then that it wins every time.
Not every time, just,
he just consults AI. He's like, which one would win?
Yeah, that's it.
You guys train this.
He has Juan AI or Juan AI.
Juan AI. Juan GPT.
You guys should do a Goosebumps movie next.
How many of those are there? I'm not watching Jack Black's Goosebumps, but
we are doing B-rated horror.
Yes.
Out of the So that's
I think I know
next
mine.
Week,
yeah.
Okay, we're not letting Richard pick all of them.
Maybe.
I don't know enough B tier horror movies.
I don't either.
That what do you mean, Justin? That's most horror films.
Maybe like Evil Dead 2. Would that be considered B tier, kind of?
100%.
Probably Evil Dead 1, even more.
Evil Dead 1, yeah.
Well, I think he was like talking about. So
pencil
this
in the
guest
ankle
we
in that.
had scheduled like forever ago.
Yo, Belmont, what's up, man?
But yeah, he was talking like Zombiever. And stuff like that. It's just
like
ridiculous
Freddy
ones.
versus Jason. That's comedy horror film. I love that film. It's so
Jason
dumb.
X was or Jason?
No,
was he in space?
Freddy versus Jason. That's
no.
the one.
I'm
That
saying the
movie's-
one he's in space is hilarious.
Oh, I didn't remember that existed until now. Thank
The
you.
cover art for Zombievers is unreal.
All the Leprechaun movies. Army of Darkness is
Oh my gosh.
a great movie, but like
I
I
love
don't
that movie.
feel like that fits the category.
I would pick
Like,
Deep
yeah.
Blue
Army of Darkness
Sea.
is more like dark
Deep Blue Sea is like the best of B tier.
Stop trying to get Deep Blue Sea to win. It's not gonna happen.
What do you mean? I don't think we've even had it on a poll. What do you mean trying to get it to win?
Isn't that the movie you try to have win? Like
No.
Oh, Into the Blue is what you're thinking
Into
of,
the
right?
Blue. Oh, okay.
And that
No,
actually
I'm
was-
not. Yeah, no, the B horror film Into the Blue, starring Jessica Alba and Paul Walker.
I don't know.
Also, that's a great film. Shut your whore mouth.
It was pretty good. It was better than I expected it to be.
Yeah,
Although I was hoping there was gonna be more like surfing or something, and or like more ocean
Arachnoph-
activities.
Phobia, is that the one with the like just
John Goodman and the spiders. Yeah, they get brought
Crazy
in from,
amount
like-
of
it's
spiders.
kind of B horror. It's good
They
enough.
have
I
dirt
think it might
bikes
just
in it.
qualify as horror. Eight-Legged Freaks is a better B horror.
That's what I'm thinking. Oh, I love it. Like,
Where the tarantulas and but like spiders yelling for them to come in. I love that.
no, I'm a dirt biker, so it's like
Oh
They
yeah,
had that
the
scene, I'm like,
freeze frame, the 3D render, like still like 360 camera angle of him like kicking the spider off the back of the butt. Yeah, I love that film.
Oh man, B horror movies. I don't know many offhand.
I don't know. Well, we don't have to figure it out right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Did we have another topic? Because we did combine those two topics, as we already guessed was going to happen.
Not necessarily.
Adapting legends. So Sleepy Hollow kind of works into that. It's adapting a legend, and in a way, every story or most stories are based on stories that were adapting legends of some kind, or like because all stories have been told in some form or fashion before. But I really like, I don't know, I like older fantasy that is closer to fairy tales and legends. It just like you go back in time a little bit, and those stories feel so fresh compared to today. Like, not even fantasy. Like, look at Time Machine by H.G. Wells.
Yeah.
Read that after watching a bunch of time travel, like, modern movies or books. It feels so fresh and so interesting compared to those.
Mm.
I really enjoy that short little book.
A lot of those legends, those stories aren't so long or something, and maybe like depending on the story, the age it came from, it's just not going to translate to a movie without like different changes.
Heavy.
Like,
alteration.
I mean, not that it's that old, but Call of Cthulhu. It's a short story. How's that there's not enough material in that book. Like, if you were to adapt it perfectly to translate that into a movie, you would have to take liberties and maybe even change this like setting, a little bit.
It's like if you're adapting one of the H.P. Lovecraft like stories into a modern day, what you could do is you could take a look at there's a whole collection of stories based off of the world and lore of H.P. Lovecraft written in the modern day by different people. And that's kind of a good blueprint of how you could do it. And it takes like a slightly more modern approach. And like there's one I can't remember, but it's basically like this secret military base on an island off the coast of Washington. It's like they have some of the Innsmouthers like in custody, and they have lived there for like 70 years, and they've become more and more fish looking over time, and it's like half science and half myth. It's a really interesting way to do that kind of story.
Yeah. I mean, 'cause ideally everybody would want their stuff perfectly adapted. It's just that's not always going to be the case. Like Akira, a legendary manga. Well, the movie's more legendary, but that's definitely not a perfect adaptation.
What about live action Berserk? Jack Black could be Guts. It'd be great.
All right. Anyway, so the rest of the show. What's some other good things? All right, final.
One adaptation. One movie that I didn't know was an adaptation. I've already mentioned The Ring. The Ring was actually an adaptation of an urban legend in Japan, but it's one of those ones where they took wild liberties to the point where I'm like, they had the premise of the legend and then built this whole story around it. So the original story was like the 1300s or 800s or something. There was a I forget what the lady's role was in society, but there was a samurai that was like,
geisha?
"Hey, you're gonna be my wife," and she's like, "I don't want to be." And he's like, "Too bad, because I'm a samurai." And she's like, "Dang it!" And then
Got a point
that
there.
happened, and she was like, "I don't like being this guy's wife. I'm gonna go jump in that well and stay there." And then she did,
I remember that.
but she didn't stay there. She actually started haunting him, as the story goes.
What?
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
She-
dun.
she
Justin,
goes
you
to-
ruined the whole. You spoiled the whole thing.
Oh,
What are we
wh-
doing now?
No, that was the urban legend. And they took it, and then they're like, what if it was you watched a movie instead of married a samurai? Because it's the 90s.
Right.
And then it's like now we're all safe because VHSs don't exist
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, no. That was in the second one. I think they put it on the internet.
They made it digital, and then it
Oh, yeah,
left
yeah,
everything.
right.
Yeah.
Except that movie was dumb and not very good. Anyway.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
Well,
Um,
you could look at like Hellboy. That whole franchise is just Mike Mignola just
yeah.
pulling from a bunch of like Eastern European lore for all of his villains and stuff.
And
Yeah.
from Elric, really
Sure,
heavily a couple of times.
I really got to read Elric.
Yeah, so
I
I
love
mean,
Elric, dude. It's great.
like you said, everything's inspired by something else. Even I have a series called Magic Cop, which is like 90s Miami
The-
Vice mixed with Halloween and Halloween Town and
Is,
stuff.
is
Nice.
Will Smith in it? Does he call the fairies fairies?
No, this actually came out before Max Landis'
Right?
Netflix movie. But I did a character that is inspired by the Headless Horseman, but his
Okay.
name is the Headless Hitman.
Oh, that's
And
great, dude.
He rides a motorcycle.
I was gonna say that's a motorcycle helmet. I know
Yeah.
it.
He's got a motorcycle,
awesome.
and in the second book, he was hired to kill someone, and
That's it.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
so
that
this
was-
is yours?
for fun. Yes, yeah, I did
Oh. Cool.
2 books of that.
So when he's about to
Oh,
decapitate
man,
someone,
that looks awesome.
so when the
I need to check that
headless bikeman is about to take someone out, is it like don't lose your head, or like
No.
what's going on?
Mine doesn't talk at all. Well, I mean, I guess the other ones don't as well. But yeah, they bring him into questioning, and he just
man.
laughs. And he doesn't have a mouth, so he can't.
Dude, these covers are excellent. The werewolf with the shotgun just blasting in the air.
Yeah.
This is right.
You
in my
damn
wheelhouse.
dirty apes. I don't know, something.
And
Yeah,
that's
I'm-
the vibe of the book. So they kind of like fun and silly and playful to a degree, or
Yeah, my brother and I
There's the
grew
F
up
word
on
again.
Miami Vice. It's like my dad's favorite show. So, we keep it light, but it has that underlined like crime detective show aspect to it. The first one is about mermaids getting sold off as prostitutes
no.
and having their legs surgically put on. The second one is about
Whoa.
Wait,
I hate to
wait,
laugh,
what's
but
the
poor
economics
mermaids.
in this? All right, like,
it's lucrative. It's lucrative.
What's the
lucrative.
cost
It's a great
benefit
business.
analysis of sewing legs onto mermaids?
hey, and Pitt's in this one, in this artwork at least.
Which one? Oh, that's probably looking at
Also, like on the black market for buying legs for mermaids, do they like have cripples?
Oh,
legs?
it's a variation cover.
like
I
from
see, okay.
paraplegics or something. Like
Or
are
vacation.
those like
CG
aftermarket?
vacation.
It's a great
Yeah,
head though.
Like if you want legs, but you can't afford ones that work, so you buy the ones that are defective.
Oh, here's our other one. Yeah, you're probably looking at our pinup book. That was the vacation book. But and then
Yeah,
the second
okay.
one is about
That book is a whole vibe, and it's every TV show set like in the 80s and 70s in Florida, and that's what it
Who's
is.
this guy with Jones on his knuckles? Yeah, trick or
Yeah.
treat, mother.
So, this is the bad guy in number 2. His name's
God, this looks amazing.
his name's Arsenic Jones,
Yes.
and he's created a new drug called Poof. It's an off-brand of pixie dust, and pixie dust is like the cocaine of this
I
world.
gotta get this.
But Poof is it's a gold version of pixie dust, and whoever snorts it gets magical powers. So it's really
Dude,
bad.
there's a fantasy series I've been reading. This aspect sounds nutty, but some of the sorcerers in this story, it's like musket sorcery, so they have guns. They have if they snort black powder, they get magic, and that's like part of the magic
Cool.
of the world. Like,
Yeah.
this is dope. This is dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One.
actually,
92
Phil,
pages.
that
Solid.
kind of reminds me. I have a short story I'm working on right now called the Mook and the Stripper,
Mhm.
and it's about an East Coast gangster who gets basically kicked out of the mafia side of with his family out there, and he has to go out west, basically in exile, and he meets a vampire stripper. But yeah, that's
badass.
Huh. Apparently, that word comes from British slang "moke," which means donkey.
Mook,
Yeah.
Mook.
That's what the internet's telling me. Could be a mooch too, like a play on the two
So
words.
an ass.
Yeah, or a muck is Irish for pig.
Daniel
Dutch
P. Riley
Mook.
says Kahuna aspires to be a cokehead. I aspire to have cokehead energy, but not be a cokehead.
Here's another shot of our guy. He smokes
Dude.
cigarettes as well.
Dude, I need to send that to my kid. He loves pumpkins and Halloween. Like this, he would love all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's fun. I'm working on the
Fantastic,
third
man.
one right now. My brother actually draws the interiors of that book. So
Oh, cool.
All right.
Sweet.
But Legends.
Legends, yeah.
One movie,
Whoa.
one legend that has been done a
Legends.
lot, and I actually really liked the newest adaptation, and everybody bags on it, and it makes me so mad because they were going to turn it into a franchise, but it was a total
It's
bomb,
gonna
and
be
so
bad.
they canceled it. Yeah, you're going to be like, oh, that's what you're going to do.
What is
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Is King Arthur, classic story, Sword and Stone, all that. The Guy Ritchie King Arthur, man, I love
so
that movie.
bad, dude.
No, it was so
What do you,
good.
Justin?
Oh my
Delicious,
God.
man.
Shut your whore mouth! How
I
dare
never
you?
seen
it.
Bad.
We enjoyed that movie quite a bit.
Oh my god! I saw like
bet
a video
you
of somebody
did.
being like,
Charlie,
"Yo,
Hunnam,
this
he's got
this
the power
movie
sword, it's
bonds,
like a
but it was
video game."
actually really
Rocky
good."
is bad and boring, but King Arthur by Guy Ritchie.
And I was like, "Yo, I kind of really want to watch this movie." And like, I was with a group of people, and I like encouraged to watch the movie, and then we watch it. It's over, and I'm like, I am so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. I recommended this, guys.
Oh man, that is so
Joe,
awesome.
I did the same thing. I
won't
brought my
say.
ex-wife and my
Very
sister to
enjoyable,
theaters
isn't
to see Krampus. That festering POS. We watched that damn thing in theaters, and we wanted to leave so much, like halfway through the movie.
No,
I
but
didn't
no,
get
like
to
I.
see that.
Yeah, Krampus. I know. Yeah, I didn't get to see it, but the King Arthur movie was so god awful. Oh my god,
I liked it a lot.
All the effects, the action you couldn't see, the fucking butchering of the story is terrible, trash.
It was great. Definitely go watch it. Everybody check it out.
It's one of those legends that is so old and so pervasive. You see it everywhere, like even in like the Fate series, anime and manga series, like Fate anime series. Like Saber's a woman now, but you won't mind because she's kind of hot. It's like, oh, right?
If they actually pitched it that way, people would probably be like, "Oh, all right."
But
how
that's
are they
how like
gonna be?
every anime
like
pitches
that.
their stuff. So
It's like you've seen Soda before, but have you seen Soda as living at cute anime girls?
I thought you were saying
can
Soda with
now.
boobs. That's what
and
I
the
thought you
Fate
were gonna
series
say.
is very successful.
Look at that cannon.
The only like Fate. Don't get into Fate, but unless like just watch like the main stuff. Don't get into all the nonsense. Like there's 146 shows, and like little OVAs in that whole series. You only need to watch literally 2 or 3. That's it.
Never heard of it.
It's really interesting story. Like there's some of the storytelling things they've done in it I have never seen done in any
You
of
still talking Fate?
Yeah, Fate.
Yeah, it's a really popular series, but it's confusing as shit because there's like 5 different series. And
Watch-
it's
Anime?
just, yeah.
Watch
Anime,
Fate
yeah.
Zero and then Fate Unlimited Blade Works and then maybe Heaven's Feel if you want to. But Fate Zero.
If you
Wholeheartedly
don't
recommend.
care, I would suggest don't even bother. But that's, yeah,
That's what
the
I'll
Green, the Green Knights. I don't. Did anybody watch the Green Knight?
I think
which is an
Grease did at one point and said it
Arthurian
was
story.
terrible.
It was absolutely terrible. It's the worst, hands down, without even no competition. The worst movie I'd ever seen in my life. And I was like,
she said the same thing.
"Who's that?"
My wife. My
Your wife, yeah. Yeah, so we saw that. I can't believe I never walked out of the movie. And that's my biggest regret is not walking out of the movie theater during that movie. Yeah, no, it's because we're looking up too, because like J.R. Tolkien did The Green Knight, I think, if I remember correctly. But like it's one of the Arthurian stories that's not told very often.
Yeah.
That people don't really know about, and it's about truth is like the main theme through the story, and this movie decided they wanted to flip that, on a not popular Arthurian story, and they turned his green scarf, which is his big thing. They turned it into a cum rag.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. I'm not kidding.
I'd rather watch Your Highness with the
Absolutely.
Oh man, with Eastbound and Down, that guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
that
like
was so bad.
It's like he's like, just rub this pipe, and he's like, I think that guy's molesting my brother.
I tried to watch that movie. I thought I was in the right mindset for it, and I don't know.
You were too sober. That was the problem. You have to be really
I guess.
in an altered state of mind to really enjoy
I was
that
like,
movie.
I'm not
properly.
liking this very much.
Here, Squire,
another-
hold my dick.
Another popular urban legend, Robin Hood. Been plenty of adaptations of that one too.
Almost every recent Robin Hood adaptation has been such a festering pile of ass. It's not been worth looking at.
Was the
The
one with
only
Russell
one-
Crowe good?
Probably not. The only one you need is the Disney
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Fox Robin.
That's good, but it's not the best one.
It absolutely is. Shut the fuck up.
Kevin Costner Robin Hood is better.
No.
Prince of Thieves, it's better.
Oh, do I have that one?
It's one of my favorite movies. I adore that film top to bottom. That and then Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Men in
is
Tights.
just-
That was the
it's
other one,
just-
right?
Good.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's a beautiful piece of film.
That's
there,
another
yeah.
one. I haven't seen that one yet, but I do. Have
What?
it.
What
I
about
have it. I just haven't watched it.
Robin into Hood?
Oh my
Is
god!
that a real thing? Wait, is that real?
They did that Canadian show, remember?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it was like big news
Oh, my.
a year ago.
Yeah.
I haven't
You,
seen
you
this
didn't
one.
hear about this? Yeah, no, they did a interpretation of it, and of course they took the misinterpretation of Robin just stealing, which the actual story is he's taking back the taxes.
He's taking it
the
back. Yeah, he's not
overtaxation.
stealing.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just I remember watching some videos on it. Basically, it's just it's bad. I mean, that's all I need to know. It's bad.
I had to reorient myself because when I was a teenager, I was like, I took the tagline of that whole like Robin Hood story. take from the rich and give to the poor. I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, is it socialism? Wait, no, it's taking back illegal taxes.
Yeah.
That's American AF.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, I barely remember the Errol Flynn version, Seabats. I might need to rewatch it.
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
But
What else? Robin Hood.
Other popular ones. I mean, anything Greek. All of those. I don't know if you.
Oh, all the-
yeah, I love Greek mythology, but like it just they haven't been doing it well in recent times. I mean, Hercules, the Disney one, classic.
So good.
I'm sure the live action's going to be wonderful.
Banger.
I
live action.
like Disney's Hercules,
Of course.
but the movie has some problems that I can't
Hercules,
ignore.
the one with the rock, wasn't bad.
I heard it was good.
Just,
My dad
it
liked
was
that one.
advertised.
Yeah,
it was
that was okay.
It was like a bait and switch advertisement. So it's
It
like,
wasn't what I wanted it to be, so I was
Yeah.
disappointed.
right,
I'll say
exactly, and they basically advertised it the way that the perception of the character
Right.
is in the movie. Which it's like, okay, cool. We're gonna see like the Rock playing Hercules and throwing massive rocks around and stuff. It's like, nah, it's just
that. There was another one that came out like the same year, and it made killing a lion with your bare hands not fun at all, which is just dreadful storytelling.
Yeah, it seems like it would be fun.
Yeah, it seems like it should be a great time in a movie. It was fun. They switched from a bad CGI to a really bad dude in a puppet lion, I'm pretty sure. And they went fast enough to where they thought we wouldn't see it, and I saw it right away. It was so bad. Dude.
Another adaptation where the ad was wildly misleading. I saw this movie in theaters and I did walk out.
Click?
At the end when it was over. But I would have walked out earlier if I knew how it was going to end. So I'm talking about Hero with Jet Li. They show the preview.
I like that
and
movie.
It's him. It's like 1 against 10,000, and he's fighting them. I'm like, yeah, this is like a video game. This is like Dynasty Warriors, the movie. This is gonna be awesome.
That
But
preview
actually,
was a
he's the hero
lie.
because he didn't fight.
Yeah.
It's just, they pitched it that way. I'm like, how? Come on. Like he fights, but it's all an imagination and people telling the story of what occurred or something.
It's all remembering him fighting.
Oh.
It's not him.
And then
actually
he doesn't. He just stands there and gets arrowed. And I'm like,
I liked the telling the story over and over again from different perspectives part of
that part was cool, but I just hated how it
Rashomon.
ended. It should have ended with him fighting 10,000 guys and beating them all up.
oh, I think I had no idea what the fuck was going on in that movie. It was subtitles, right?
I don't think so.
It's
I think it was dubbed, wasn't it?
Chinese film. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
How about Mothman Prophecies? Talking about legends.
Holy shit.
I like that movie.
I never even heard of it.
That's
but we should
urban
do it.
legends, my
Yeah.
man.
It's
That's
a good watch.
urban
It's a fun
legends.
movie. Yeah, and
We-
it's based
hey,
on a
we-
true story that happened. Like the events took place. Obviously, they took liberties with what happened, but it's cool.
Did
It
speaking
took a
of
couple of
Greek myths, did you guys watch Blood of Zeus?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Netflix?
I wanted.
You didn't like it?
No, it's just
I
like,
liked some things, but I was not impressed overall.
It just was. I mean, like it's like it was like right at the start where like after Game of Thrones, they're like, okay, if we kill characters, that equals good because Game of Thrones did that, and then they're just like, we're gonna let you be like, hey, here's an interesting design for a character. They're dead. Their death isn't mean anything at all.
Yeah.
It's
but,
actually
we
a
don't
lot
let you
like-
get attached to any characters. We're just gonna kill them before.
It's
they
like a
do
lot
it.
of other Netflix original animation, like whatchamacallit, the Castlevania. Lots of things I like about it, but on the whole, it doesn't work, and I don't really understand why. It should
Yeah, it
work.
didn't feel like
Castlevania,
Castlevania
the show, should work.
Yeah.
Blood of Zeus, the show, should work, and I don't think they
tone of it was
did.
off.
There's a lot of things I like about Castlevania. There's
Yeah,
also a
same
lot of
here.
things I didn't like about it.
100%. That's the problem.
Usually, like there's like just a climactic fight that's just really epic in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Castlevania.
Castlevania it had one of the best episode ones I've ever seen, and then it never got that good again.
I don't know, dude.
my
The fight
opinion.
with Dracula, like
The
where that
fight is
whole
good, but that's
lead
not
up to
all
that.
that
It was
is.
just it was some of the best fights, choreography, and fucking I don't know.
Animation, yeah.
Yeah,
But like
but
on
it's
the
always,
whole,
it
it
was always a
doesn't.
slow build up to those stuff. But
On the whole, it doesn't work though, right? Like there's a lot to love, but then like at the end, I'm like, I feel dissatisfied after watching it.
nah, I was highly entertained by a lot of it. But there was some stuff in that they're like, okay, what you're doing to Alucard right now,
Oh yeah, the whole bisexual thing, yeah.
a little weird. A little weird. Do we have to go there? But I think we should.
I didn't want you.
Sorry to leave it off at this, but we should probably wrap up at this point. We are closing in at the 2-hour mark.
Really leaving with that bisexual taste in their mouth.
He's like, we've talked about my favorite thing of all time, and we better wrap this up.
Yeah,
fellas.
That box is checked.
You brought up Blooded Zeus. Okay, no, all right, bye-bye.
Dream about monsters that feel no pain and don't react to my punches.
Also, they had Maui, the Hawaiian demigod, in the movie Moana, and he has like 19,000 legends about him, and he didn't do any of them in the movie. What a disappointment. Okay, that's it.
Oh, all
right. Well, you want to take us out, Kramer?
So,
I'm copying links and stuff. I'm like, please don't make me do both. I can't multitask.
All right.
So, fellas,
No.
we've talked about Sleeping Hollow. We've talked about effective horror, scary stuff. We've talked about how Phill Diaz is like 3 steps shy of being the Wolfman and his comic series.
Wait, don't take us out. Like closing remarks. Christ.
I'm confused.
yeah.
Tell me
right.
what you want.
All right, Phill, where can we find you? What you got going on?
You could find me on YouTube. My channel is Zaid Comics, Zaid Comics. Go sub over there. We stream a few times a week. Trying to post more videos. I did just read the first 2 big hardcover volumes of Trigun, which was freaking awesome. And there's a lot more to read. So I just put out a short YouTube short showing that book off. It's awesome. And then also you could find me on Twitter at Zaid Comics, or Phill Pops is my personal Twitter. I post all my like art updates and stuff like that there. Go check out Psycho Slumber on Indiegogo, and visit our website, zaidcomics.com. You can buy all of our previous books, Magic Cop, Lost Pages, the Magic Cup, which is a special cup with Magic Cop art on it. If you guys love drinking water or vodka, if you don't have a big beer stein to fill your vodka with, you get the Magic Cup. And then shirts also. We have cool pinup shirts and of our characters from our comics.
What was your YouTube channel name again? Just sorry.
Zaid Comics, Z-A-I-D.
Zaid.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now, and it's like on minute 5 of Razor Ramon just going, "Hey yo."
Yeah.
What's funny is there's a poster in the background said the Horseman on it, so I'm like,
Yeah.
that fits in perfectly. But I'm like, this is already great. It's just "Hey yo."
Yeah, we do live streams. Like I stream every Monday with my brother and some buddies.
Big
We do a
chungus.
Diaz Brothers show on Friday, which is my brother and I, and then Thursday I do a show called The Creative Block. It's a rotating show between myself, Irene Strakowski, Narwhal, and Hyper Wizard. So this week it's actually on my channel. So
Like, how have I not seen this before?
That's how we started the Iron Seas. We were just passing it back
Yeah.
and forth like the town bicycle for a minute.
Yeah.
Figured let's just make our own dedicated channel.
But all right, yeah, all right. So guys, again, Discord link if you want to join up.
Don't bring it up if you're gonna like sound like that. Joe.
Dude, this is how I always sound. Leave me
What if you
alone.
want?
Fuck off, man.
I mean, you guys don't have to, Baka. But
Look, we have high quality retarded shit in our Discord. So if you want some more behind the scenes stuff on our autistic content,
that's
it's
more
there.
accurate.
All right. What
Justin,
the
do you
fuck
have any other things you want to shill and absolutely not have?
No, wait,
anyone
hey,
check out?
whoa! I didn't even get to show my shit. Fuck, dude.
Wait, I'll do it for you in your own style. Hey guys, so there's kind of a book that's kind of coming out soon. It's not very good, but it might be worth it. Like if you want to, you can check it out. It's a
Maybe if you like
Dunce
fantasy with comedy mixed together, kind of the best comedy, best action, Tale of the Dunce Whisperer. Sign up with the mailing list in the link that's in the comments right now. I will be presenting art very soon on that. Like I said, I'm starting to campaign for that starting in November. So look out. It's great. It's great. Yes. All right. I think that was it.
Justin.
Yeah. Oh, hey guys, if you enjoyed the show, please maybe give us a like and maybe sub.
Yes.
Yeah, be our sub.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
So I make music. You can. I'm gonna do the Bats approach. I make music. If you go on where you stream music, you can listen to it there. Just type in Evely if you like music that's like metal or rock and some chiptune
I
stuff.
guess. Yeah.
So yeah, you can find me any major stream platform there. I'm also on Bandcamp. Try to get something out here in November. Little collection of tracks. Obviously here's Tuesday nights with these psychos, and then Friday I help Royce co-host his. And Daniel P. Riley, of course, in the chat here. I don't help him. Royce, I try. But Iron Age Nights, which I think Phill. I don't know if that name rings a bell for you. But...
Yeah, I think I'm going to be on there Friday.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, Friday night. So those are.
But you guys are getting the sloppy seconds. We had them first. All right.
Right.
Special seconds.
Just like Justin.
Is that what
I'm
you
on
call
Twitter,
it,
but I don't think I'm
Justin? What do you
worth
mean? Why would you say that?
No, special seconds is a time measurement. That's different.
Oh, okay, cool, interesting. I don't know. Phil's probably feeling pretty sloppy after this whole show.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you coming.
All right, guys. Before I take us out, my only shill. I have a short. I worked pretty hard on it. It's based off of a recent Friday show on Friday night. Stop with the hand thing. I do it too, but on Friday on Iron Age Nights. It's a short about one of the hosts, and it's very well put together. I got approval from him, and it's going to be a blast. So vote for that on Royce's Wednesday show, so that he has to watch YouTube Shorts and get them stuck in his channel feed for all time. Anyway, that's it. So anything else before I take us out?
Yeah, no, actually take us out now.
Not like before when you told me to, then you're like, wait.
I regret it. My name's Battsauce. You can't take us out yet. We haven't chilled yet.
All right.
Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Kahuna on the Iron Seas podcast. And meet us next time, Tuesday, 6:30 PST, the Lord's time. Thank you for joining us. Next time, join us aboard the Iron Seas with more guests, more movies, and more fun. 1, 2, 3.
Our roughest out.